Good evening, one and all. It's Friday, it's the end of the working week, and to bring on the weekend today, we're turning another Warframe into a tabletop monster. Welcome in, everybody. I've done the microphone thing again. Let me just fix that real quickly. There we are. That looks better. Just slightly in frame, it happens. In fact, I'm just going to mute it at the moment so I can just shuffle it around more. There, that should be a good spot. Audio should be coming through fine on that.
I have a button to click.
You do indeed have a button to click. Cosmo, thank you very much for resubscribing at 15 months of tier 1. That is not a small number right there. Thank you very much for continuing your support on the channel right here. Really do appreciate it, Cosmo. Cheers on that. That has indeed been a while. You got yourself a few months of a full pot at this point, and I love it. So, for those of you who don't know, I have an ongoing project here to turn Warframes into tabletop monsters, specifically made to be compatible with Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. So we've got the intro to Warframes, and then it goes into each of the monsters. For example, an Excalibur Initiate, the most basic version of an Excalibur, has things like its armor class, its hit points, its speed, its stats, its skills, abilities, actions, all that kind of good stuff. And I've gone with a slightly different approach to the lore of Warframes to fit into a more D&D style setting, including operators aren't a thing. No child soldiers, thank you. Because the idea here is that Warframes can be used as monsters for the players with their varied characters to face off against, rather than trying to shoehorn them in as player characters. Doesn't really work very well, but as monsters they work brilliantly. So today, we're going to be adding Ivara to the list. You'll notice I have got quite a few of them done as we just make our way through Baruch and Caliban and Chroma and Ember and so on 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 and so on. I've done quite a few of them. Last time we streamed this, I did Harrow. Did the Harrow on that stream. So we've got the Harrow Initiate, the Harrow Adept, the Harrow Master, and then the Harrow Prime, which is the way that I am labeling up each tier of Warframe. Initiate, Adept, Master, and Prime, to give 4 different tiers of players. This one is a Challenge 19, level 19 players who are having this a medium encounter. Doing them alphabetically? Almost. I did the starters first, so Excalibur, Mag, and Volt. Then I went back and went through alphabetically, with the exception of Citrine, because she came out after the fact, so she'll have to wait for the end of it. But since that previous stream, I've done Hildren. So she's now on the list, and I did Hydroid, he's now on the list, and I did Inaros, so Inaros is also on the list. Inaros, you might be thinking, oh come on, how much interest can there really be in Inaros? What can you really do with him? Well, for example here, Devour. I turned Devour into a curse, rather than just, you know, some weird spell. No, it's a full-on curse, because hey mummies, that they cast curses. And in this case, if a creature is killed by this spell, the Devour spell, its soul is devoured. It cannot be revived except by means of a wish or godly power. So if you want to face against Inaros and not be prepared, look forward to that. There is no afterlife for you. Your soul is devoured if you lose. So yeah, that's that should certainly make Inaros a little bit scarier than he might come across in Warframe. We're just using Inaros, we're not actually facing Inaros. But we're not talking too much about Inaros today. Today is a focus on Ivara. So let me just grab my templated details here. Let's scroll ahead just a little bit. And that's where we're just popping the page, copying over for the Inaros Initiate, and I can just use it as a template to turn it into Ivara stuff. But yeah. That sounds pretty bad. It's supposed to, yeah. You have to die specifically to that spell to actually lose your soul forever to it. Normally in D&D, if a character dies, they can be revived through various forms of magic. That one would specifically deny that. So yeah. Now with any part of starting a Warframe, the first bit is always putting in the title, Ivara, and then it's figuring out what to put for their intro. Figuring out what to put there. And Ivara, well, Ivara's got very much a huntress theme. Now, huntress, hunter, we can skip the genderization of words. Ivara's a hunter. Ivara's a hunter. Like you were saying, curious to see how you make Quiver not overwhelming when ported into D&D. I've been thinking about Ivara. As soon as I realised that D&D Warframes was going to be the topic for this week, I've been thinking about it. Absolutely. And I think I have a decent idea as to various ways I can go about it, see how it fits into the vibe, fits into the character as she kind of grows and develops. But I think I'll have a good one for us here. Oh, yes. So, Ivara is the Warframe most focused on the hunt. All Warframes are capable of killing. Ivara in particular can track you down and take you out over any distance, any terrain, and without warning. Let's go and without warning, because I'm going to focus on the stealth side. Keep your wits about you. Every shadow can be lethal. Yeah. Something like that. Ivara is the Warframe most focused on the hunt, because this is also meant to give the players and the DM an idea as to how to actually engage with that character. So, just putting that straight there, the hunt. While all Warframes are capable of killing, Ivara in particular can track you down, focus on the survival and ability to follow you, and take you out over any distance, ranged character, and terrain, and without warning. Stealth. Keep your wits about you, every shadow can be lethal. Jason's saying, arrows strike from unseen foes are your first clue you've faced the invisible hunter Ivara. When they have you in their sights, you are not long for this world. Another way of doing it. I don't know if I'd include the invisible bit, because actually only the Master and Prime variant would have access to Prowl. Although, no, I was already planning on using Cloak Arrow as well. I'll stick with a generalized stealth rather than comment on invisibility, but otherwise, yeah, absolutely Jason. So yeah. Supreme Boost, don't know if this has been mentioned, but what are your thoughts on the new Overguard shenanigans? Do you mean the Overguard or the shenanigans? Because those are two different bits. The Overguard, it's a thing. We basically already had it. That's why Iron Skin could be readily converted into just being Overguard, because it literally was. In fact, it was Overguard but more, because it added status immunity as well. The Rhino nerf and all nerfs. Do you call them nerfs? What makes them nerfs? Because you call it shenanigans, I don't know what shenanigans you're referring to. And now you're saying nerfs, and I don't know what nerfs you're referring to. So that's going to be an interesting one, Spring Boost. I need to know more about what you think is a problem to be able to respond to how I have a thought on that problem. Because I don't know what nerf you're referring to. If anything, Rhino got buffed this update, thanks to the new decrees as in the circuit. My god, some of the stuff coming out there is ridiculous. But yeah. Right, Inaris Initiate? Ivara Initiate. So, with Ivara, I want to be going down the dexterity route. Obviously, we're going to be stealth, we're going to be archer, straight out of Skyrim, that kind of approach there. Absolutely going down the right road. Not going to be keeping in the burrow speed in sand only. That was, of course, from Inaris. Likewise, the hit points, that's going to go down. Armor class, that's going to go down. All that kind of stuff. Is a sleep arrow going to be similar to just an instance of the sleep spell? I'm not actually a fan of how sleep is cast in 5th edition, so probably not, no. Spring Boost saying, no one I've spoken to likes the changes about Iron Skins and the armor was superior, and Frost and Atlas Augments now have Overguard on them as well, seemingly. Okay, Spring Boost. Step it back. Who have you spoken to is in any way an authority on understanding how Warframe works? Iron Skin was never armor, so I don't know what armor has to do with it. Literally, it was never armor. Armor contributes to the value that is generated. That has not changed. So, I don't know who you're talking to that's saying the armor was superior. That's nothing to do with it. Either they mean armor, in which case they're wrong, or they mean something that they are referring to as armor, which is not armor, in which case they don't know how to communicate. Either which way, whoever you're speaking to about Overguard needs to actually give you a reason they are upset, rather than just going, "Ah, new thing!" Ah! Because that's what a lot of people on Reddit are doing. And those people, frankly, bore me. I'm not just disappointed in them, I'm bored of them. So, yeah. What actually is wrong? Don't say someone you've spoken to doesn't like it. What do you think is wrong? And if you can't answer that, then you don't think something is wrong. Pure and simple. It's fine enough to walk it back if you can't answer that, though. Otherwise, let me know what's wrong. Right, anyway, that aside, let's get making on to Ivara. Now, with Ivara, I'm going to keep the challenge rating 4. I didn't do this earlier on, but as I've got into the flow of making these frames, I'm basically just plotting them all at 4, 9, 14, and 19 for challenge rating. And then what can happen is that as I get around to properly testing them, playtesting, if they're coming out a little bit too weak or a little bit too strong, I can adjust the challenge rating rather than have to adjust the entire character to fit these narrow bands. So I think that'll actually work out better for giving more of a spread rather than trying to pigeonhole them too much. So we're starting with 4. You thought the stream had died for a sec? Oh, did they... Oh my god, what the hell happened a moment ago? Where did 1600 frames go? And it's still going. What? Okay. It seems to have cleared up. What the f just happened there? Yeah, I looked over because my view from Twitch back to me is hidden and obscured to one side because I've only got so much space to look at. I didn't see it suddenly gone so choppy. And yeah, looking at my monitor, I lost nearly 1800 frames for some reason, which is a lot. I stream at 30 FPS, so that's a whole minute of stream didn't get broadcast. What? But it seems to no longer be dropping frames, so... Alright, cool. Yeah. Yeah, Ivara killed them. That's what happened there. Ivara killed those frames. Oh dear. Fucking world. Right, anyway, that aside. I don't know what that was. Thing is that neither Twitch nor my program actually alerted me to an issue. The frames just got dropped. It knows it got dropped, but it didn't want to tell me about it. Yeah, that's a thing. Anyway, oh no, it's breaking again. What the f... It's... Oh my god. Why? Why is this happening? Like, my stream replay hasn't even picked this up yet. Good God. Yeah, there's now something like a 20-second delay. That's not even remotely close to correct. What the hell? Hold up, I'm going to refresh this side. How far behind is Twitch now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 seconds. That's quite a while. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6-second delay at the moment. Good God. And this is an issue with my software, but it doesn't want to tell me where. Yeah, it seems fine at the moment, but the fact that it broke twice in as many moments is a problem. I'm just going to check if there is something trying to steal my resources at the moment. I'm trying to figure that out. Nope, nothing wants to own up to it. Okay, brilliant. It just breaks. I don't get computers. I really don't. If you ever at any point try and tell me that you study computer science, no you don't. You can study computer magic. Because they are magic. And magic comes with curses like these. I don't get it. Why would the software just stop working? Chrome notoriously steals RAM. It can steal RAM all what it damn well pleases. My RAM is not that fully used. I have 10 gig of RAM being used at the moment out of 32 installed. Trust me, it ain't Chrome using up the RAM. I'm using a third of all of my RAM. I'm using a third of my processor. I'm using, apparently somehow, up to a third of graphics card. Oh yeah, rendering the stream, that'll do it. But peaking at a third of it. So, if it's not my processor, it's not my memory, and it's not my graphics, then what the feck is doing it? Anyway. Hopefully this doesn't happen again. It might. Who knows? Yeah. As we say, us computer guys don't know how it works, we just know how to make stuff happen, so yeah, magic is a far off. It's basically, yeah. With the amount of weird and stupid stuff that happens, it's indistinguishable from magic. Anywho, let's start. So, what I know from my guidelines is that for Challenge Racing 4, a typical monster would have an AC of 14, hit points of 75, around that kind of area. Now, Ivara, I'm going to go for on the slightly weaker side for hit points and focus more on the damage because stealth approach. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to drop both the AC and HP down. So we'll make the armor class instead of 14, it'll be 13. I won't even include the natural armor stat. You'll see why in a moment. And the hit points, rather than going for that 75, I'm going to bring that down to 60. And again, you'll see why in a moment. I'll figure out the other bits and pieces about hit points later. Alright, next up we have got the stats. Strength, we want to drop that right the way down because Ivara's not going to be strength focused, Ivara is going to be dexterity focused. Going to put a full +3 into that, and that is why I don't need natural armor, because the armor class is coming entirely from the dexterity. Constitution, absolutely not for a stealth frame like this. Instead, it's going to be a focus of intelligence. Let's bring it up to +2. What's that +2 I want there? Let me just check it real quickly. I need a total of +6 in the first 5 stats. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Scarborough Initiative just has shit for intelligence. Yeah, that's fine. Let's go with just +1 on the intelligence there and go for +2 on the wisdom. Yeah, more perceptive will be better overall there. Alright. And in terms of skills, and this is where Ivara's going to really rock the boat a little bit, we're going to go for, to start off with, yeah, we're going to go for stealth and survival. Stealth is going to be a +5 then, stealth is going to be a +4. Passive perception is a 12. So Ivara's going to have the most optimized skills out of near enough every single Warframe. Most of them have kind of odd skills here or there. Like if I just take a random punt upwards, we got Baruch here. Acrobatics makes sense. Animal handling, what? And if we take a look at Banshee, for example, acrobatics again, and we've got perception, fine. Sleight of hand, huh? Because I wanted them to have a bit more character in their skills. Gara, again, acrobatics. I seem to hand that out a bit. Arcana, deception, sleight of hand. So I like to make them skills a bit more varied rather than just the obvious strong ones. Ivara's going to have the strong ones. Ivara's going to have the fighting ones. Absolutely. Right then, so bullet jump once per turn. It's not Ivara, so it is now Ivara may turn a jump into a bullet jump. The vertical is 3 plus strength mod. Double that, we get 6. And horizontal is your strength score. Double that, we get 20. Leeching Sands, that's an interesting. That can go. Instead, Ivara passive. Ivara's normal passive is just the ability to sense things. No, just literally has an enemy radar. So I'm going to go with Ivara can't be surprised. Keen senses. Ivara cannot be surprised. Pure and simple. Fits very neatly onto the ability card, and I think that covers it quite nicely. Ivara in Warframe has enemy radar, so knows where enemies are. Ivara in D&D, can't be surprised. Oh yeah, it's called Alert, isn't it? Yeah. Not Keen Senses. Alert. Boom. Yeah, what's it? Keen Senses is advantage on things like perception through smell, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. Jason coming out with Con plus 0. 13d8 gets you 58.5 hit points. That sounds wonderful. Let's go for that. 58 using 13d8. Perfecto. And just make sure you've had your coffee today, Jason, or your tea for that matter. Just gonna double check. Yep, you're good. You are good. Cool. We can trust Jason today. Quiver. Now this is the bit where I'm sure a lot of you are already wondering, Ken, what the hell are you going to do for Quiver? How are you going to make Quiver into a proper spell that works for D&D? Esprit, cheers. So, spell, obviously, 1 action, makes sense, and duration will be 1 minute, regardless. A flat, simple minute on any of the Quiver effects. Ivara knocks. Ivara produces its. Do we have a name for Ivara's bow? What's it called? Artemis bow. Alright, there we are. Ivara produces its Artemis bow and knocks a magical arrow. Ivara fires the arrow at a point it can see within 300 feet. Yes, that is quite a distance. It is almost but not quite 100 meters, and that is important because of the dash wire. So, Ivara fires the arrow at a point it can see within 300 feet. On impact, it produces one of the following effects of Ivara's choice. We have, let's just break that out entirely. Bullet point number 1. So we can have a dash wire. A magical, a magical wire connects between the point the arrow landed and where Ivara is stood. For the duration, Ivara and its allies may run along the dash wire. With ease. Putting the with ease to make it clear to DM, no checks are needed. As much as it's a wire, no checks are needed. Other creatures cannot see the dash wire. No. The dash wire is invisible creatures not allied with Ivara. That gives us 1. And hence that's the range, because dash wire Warframe goes out to 100 meters if I recall correctly. 300 feet for a dash wire kind of makes sense. Also means that Ivara is very good at getting across chasms or other horrible terrain you might create. As I say, I almost wonder if we could skip dash wire given it doesn't feel spell-like. It creates a feature. So Ivara, part of Ivara's ability to hunt is the ability to navigate difficult terrain, and this is part of that by just ignoring terrain. Across 300 feet of any kind of difficulty, going between trees and whatnot, moving across chasms, dealing with magical hostile terrain that may be created, Ivara and her allies can just go over that. Does Ivara's dash wire provide a speed boost in game? It allows Ivara to run at full speed during Prowl, whereas normally Ivara can't run, so it does have that boost effect there. Yeah, so that's part of Prowl. Sure, yes. So that's a dash Y1. Then what I'm going to do is add in one other one, and at higher levels, more of them will become available. So the other one will be Lethargy. Now this, I'm actually taking a little bit of inspiration from, would you believe it, Conclave. Because in Conclave, Ivara has options of a slow arrow. So I'm actually going to go along that line. Rather than a sleep arrow, a slow arrow. That's how we're going to go about it, to allow players to still interact with the fight. It doesn't shut anyone out down and going, oh, well, I failed my saving throw, I guess I end my turn. I'm going with a slow approach, because it's more engaging. Hostile creatures within 10 feet of where the arrow strikes what's a good word? Kind of a pulse going over them. I'm washed over. What's a single word for washed over? Washed over by. Not as powerful as engulfed. Engulfed is more trapping. Overwhelmed? Enveloped? Enveloped is like engulfed. Like I say, well, it's be kind of a pulse outwards, not more of a trait over. Getting the right image feel. I don't know if Struck. Struck is 1, more attack style, and 2, more offensive. Or Overcome. Yeah. Hostile creatures are afflicted. Afflicted? The word lethargy doesn't mean lethargy is going to be used in the description. I want you to understand that, Gorilla. Same with anything like this. It's just a name. Afflicted or Overcome? Afflicted has a more disease feel to it. I think Overcome is going to be the right word, though. So, hostile creatures within 10 feet of where the arrow strikes are overcome by a slowing effect. Wait, is it jumping down? Oh, I suppose we're writing a big thing, aren't we? I'll manually split it up in a moment. Are overcome by a slowing effect. Each creature must make a... what save? It's not Strength, not Dex. Con feels correct. Yeah. Constitution. Saving throw. DC of which is going to be... 12? Yep. Each creature must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, the creature Must spend twice as much movement. Twice as much speed on all movement. And cannot jump. And cannot jump, climb, or swim. So it doesn't have the effect of forcing them to sleep or something, but it does really slow them down. It means that if you're knocked prone, it's going to take the entire movement to stand up. It means that they can't obviously jump or climb or swim, so more an engaged terrain that Ivara might be hunting in is now going to be even more difficult for them to handle. Surprisingly not from the noise arrow first. I'll be honest, the noise arrow, it's already a meme in Warframe. In D&D, just the idea of the noise arrow, I can see it working. And I could see it also just being an absolute travesty for a DM to run. You use it pretty regularly? Congratulations, you are an exceedingly small minority. I'm thinking mostly for a DM running this, and for a noise arrow, for a one-off, oh, in that key, I made a sound somewhere that it wasn't. It doesn't really land for me for a monster. It really just doesn't. Which is why I'm not too excited about including that one. And instead looking at the Conclave options. On a failed save, the creature must spend twice as much speed on all movement and cannot jump, climb, or swim. At the end of each of its turns, the creature may repeat the saving throw, ending the effect on a success. There we are. No audio. Ray, do you mean you have no audio and you're just telling me that? Or are you saying that the stream has no audio? That is a very important distinction to make. Yeah, Cosmo, that's what I figured. Right, just explaining it in 2 words and explaining nothing at all. Saying could just be utility noise arrows just used for battlefield signaling. Ivara could have one to alert their fellow warframes it's found their targets. If a DM wants to include that Ivara has an ability, certainly a DM which is familiar with Ivara having noise arrow in Warframe, they can absolutely do so. I don't feel that it needs to take up stat block space. In the same way that you don't include equipment packs, you don't include, oh, well, this monster's carrying this much rope and it has a bedroll, it has a tinderbox, very utility things, things which anyone could reasonably do, definitely don't need to be included. The stat block doesn't want to be overburdened. Already we've got a very long section here for a first level spell. I didn't realise, I'll be quite honest, just how much space it would take up just talking out these two. To the point that I'm considering removing the invisibility on the dash wire because it's adding an extra line. But yeah, it's all about trying to fit in to something that can be used in D&D, not something that replicates Ivara from Warframe. That's a critical thing throughout all of this. Any of the Warframes needs to be a D&D monster, not a copy of the Warframe. Hope you understand where I'm going with that. Anywho, so with that, we've got dash wire, we've got the RG, we've got 2 arrow options which Ivara can use, which is funny because Ivara can only cast it once because it's a basic Warframe. So, the Ivara is a void power as intelligence, spell save DC is 12. You can innately cast the following power once per short rest. Wither. And I'm actually going to mark that down as only first level because it's a really basic thing. It's really basic, so that's only first level. Might make it easier to sneak. She's got a +5 to stealth. Done that. Alright then. We'll figure out any multi-attacks in a moment. Dagger. One of Ivara's signature or prime weapons. What are the primes? We've got Baza Prime, Axamati Prime. Right, neither of those are a melee. That's poop. Alright. It would probably be a dagger again, wouldn't it? Yeah, it'd probably be a dagger. I've got the same basic power, but you have access to as slow as a first level spell. I don't understand the but there, so I'm going to just acknowledge that you've said that. Those slow spells. Okay, right, so you have access to slow, not a slow, slow. You're referring to the slow spell from 5e. Which is a 3rd level spell, but has a higher range in a 40-foot cube. And it has more than just slow. It gives them a half speed and a penalty to AC and a penalty to dex saves, and they can't use reactions. And they can only take an action or a bonus action. That's a completely different spell. That is a completely different spell. The only thing that the two have in common is that they halve your speed. Come on now. Anywho, moving on from that. Dagger, melee or ranged weapon attack, +4 is actually +5 to hit, because we've got the bonus to our dex. Range 2060, one target, 1d4 +3, so that is an average hit of 5. Piercing damage, there is no bonus on the poison, because we're not going for a Karist style approach. It's just a dagger, we wanted to focus more on a bow. Asura. You know, actually, a whip is an option, isn't it? Or do I want to save that for Korra? Speed is someone who plays a monk. Halving speed is a very strong way of killing a player. Yeah, halving speed does do a lot, absolutely. It's just not the be-all and end-all. It screws up players that rely on their speed. It doesn't so much screw up the barbarian that walks forwards and goes, huh, huh, huh. Has it stopped moving yet? No. I rage. You know, some are affected more than others. Anywho, heavy crossbow. No. Longbow. Just longbow. We'll save the Artemis for the prime. Could also go for dual daggers. Good. Glitchstalker Ranger, doing invisible nova things. Why move? Yeah, fair enough. Longbow, ranged weapon attack, not a +2 to hit, it is a +5 to hit. Range 100, 400. No, that's the that's a heavy crossbow. What is it for a longbow? Longbow 5e has a range of 150, 600. There we go. 50% higher and 50% higher. Hit is... what's the longbow hit? Longbow is 1d8, so it's lower. That's fine. 1d8 +3... oh, not 1d18. 1d8, that is an average of 7 piercing damage. Don't need to have this thing about reloading, because it's a bow, you just do that automatically. Bonus actions... I'll consider that in a moment. Artemis Bow is probably going to deal close to 5 levels of damage, if not more. Artemis Bow is going to be pretty nasty, yeah. Pretty nasty. Okie dokie. Now, we've got these. These are just basic attacks so far. I'll come back to the bonus action in a moment. You assume D&D Artemis Bow have concentrated arrow built in? I might go for more of a spread of arrows, like the ability to just hit all the targets in a direction at once, rather than going for haha bomb arrows. Or I might give them options, just switch between them. Either or could work, really. Imagine like a clustered bomb arrow or a super spread. Lower damage per individual, but hits a larger number of enemies if they're more split up. A counter to enemies that try to separate out. Either could work. Dragon's breath but arrows. Maybe. Something along the line. We'll see. Right, so let's have a look then at the damage sheet. So I'm aiming for challenge rating 5 level damage, which is 30 damage per round here. 30 damage per round, and Dash Wire and Lethargy both are non-damaging abilities, so they don't actually do anything to benefit us in terms of damage output. So all of the damage output is going to have to come from Ivara on the normal attacks here. We're very much focused on the heavy attacks. What I can do is I can give Ivara assassin level powers. Sneak attack. Literally sneak attack. Yeah, I think sneak attack's the way to go. I think sneak attack is the way to go. She's a rogue? Yeah. Arcane Trickster. It's basically what we're doing now. Sneak attack. And this I can use to bump up the damage. So if you have the multi-attack, Ivara makes 2 attacks with its dagger or its longbow. So yeah, that gives us the dagger can hit twice for a total of 10 damage, or the bow can hit twice for a total of 14 damage. Do I keep in the bonus action of a dagger attack? Yeah, I can do that. Ivara makes an attack with its dagger as a bonus action. That's a swift strike. That also gives some damage that Ivara can do even when using one of these one of these action spells. So as a bonus action, still use a dagger. So we got that side. With that in mind, then, if we get 14, 15-ish per round here, then we want, was it another 15 damage from sneak attack? Yeah. So 15 damage in terms of d6s. 2d6 is 7, so 4d6 would be 14. I mean, that seems pretty on point to me. 46. Yeah. If Ivara has advantage to attack, or has an active or a friendly creature is adjacent to Ivara's target, Ivara deals 14 (46) additional weapon damage on hit. Ivara can only use this feature once per turn. Yeah, so Ivara's advantage to attack, or a friendly creature is adjacent to Ivara's target. Ivara deals 14 additional weapon damage on hit. I should specify, when making a weapon attack, yeah, so when making a weapon attack, if Ivara has advantage to attack, or I can take out that comma. If Ivara has advantage to attack, or a friendly creature is adjacent to Ivara's target, Ivara deals 14 (46) additional weapon damage on hit. Ivara can only use this feature once per turn. Cool. I think that covers that quite nicely. So what I'm going to do here is shove the actions onto the second page. So I go bop, 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 bop. And then do that. There we are. It moves it over just like that. Nice and cleanly. So I can then even put a picture of Ivara right there. I don't want to come back and doing that at the end of the document. Well, decisions for the different arrows. So we've got 2 arrows. We've got Dash Wire and Lethargy. I may, if I've got the space for it, include additional arrows on higher tier spells. So I'll open up from there. I think I might just include one other option, that'll be an invisibility one, but not on the low level Ivara. The cloak arrow can wait until a higher level one. There we go. I think in terms of an initiate, this gives us basically everything we need to start. We got a slightly lowered armor class, definitely lowered hit points. Do I go for a bit more speed? Not on the initiate, no. Ivara's going to have some weaknesses, and these are the weaknesses. Ivara can be stealthy. Ivara has some serious benefits to stealth. And Ivara can gain a brilliant position. Or Ivara can make the enemies just that much worse at pursuing. Or fleeing. And then Ivara has these attacks, including a bonus attack just with the dagger, not with the longbow. I think that works out, yeah. So, we take all of this, we get ready to copy that down to the next page, because this is where we can make our Ivara Adept. Right, let's start with all the crunchy statty bits. Ivara is now going to be challenge rating 9. Challenge rating 9 comes with, my cheat sheet says, 5,000 XP. And a proficiency bonus of 4, there we go. Stats across the board, I want to increase the charisma stat to 8, make this -1. Aside from that, I need to bring up there, let's see, a total of +6 across the board here. So what I'll do is I'll bring up the strength to 12, the dex to 19, it's still +4, the con to 12, so it's a +1, the intelligence to 16, so that's a +3, wisdom 17, it's a +3, yeah. Now, the reason I've gone for 19 and 17 is to indicate these are the core stats. These are the stats which Ivara is that little bit more invested in, but it doesn't actually give any mechanical bonuses. It is almost entirely demonstrative to the DM, but the Ivara is focused on the dexterity and whiz. They would be higher if it wouldn't imbalance the character. That's what that's saying. Right, so I like noise being a charm effect, kind of like a siren song. I get ya. It's not a way I'm going, but I get you. There are only so many features I can include from Ivara, and I would rather include the dash wire and the lethargy than I would like to include the noise arrow. That's my preference on this one. With the skills, we've got stealth, survival. I'm going to be adding in perception because Ivara is definitely a min-maxer. Sorry, everyone who wanted to be able to survive Ivara, you are not allowed. Did I put survival wrong earlier? No, it was correct. Yeah, don't know what I was thinking about. Anyway. Yeah, Ivara with a perception of +7, a passive of 17. Good luck on that one. You curious how I'll go about Navigator? You'll see. Right, we got the crunchy bits there. Let's get the crunchy bit of the bullet jump done. So this needs to now be a 8 and a horizontal of 24. Very easy to do. Ivara can't be surprised. Sneak attack, we'll come back to the calculation on that. Quiver, I need to update the DC on this because that is now going to be 4 + 3 + 8, 15. Boom. Lots and lots of numbers to quickly change. Ivara's 100% a Sweatlord tryhard? Absolutely. I mean, literally 3 different Warframes went to take down one baddie, and only Ivara came away successful. Loads of others had failed in all kinds of other ways. Ivara came away by min-maxing the fight, basically. So, Ivara's a Sweatlord, yeah. If Ivara played Apex Legends, Ivara would be the Sweaty Wraith mains. Literally. How about animal handling? A little throwback to animal conservation cheese. We can put that in on the next one, yeah. We'll put animal handling on the next one. Because that's when we also get access to Prowl, which is necessary for the conservation cheese, Idle Outlaw. If you're not invisible, you're kind of doing it wrong. We'll add it then, absolutely. For now, let's see about adding in the details. So, I'll decide in a moment if I want to add in the extra quiver bit. First, we have its navigator. So this is a spell, 1 action, no duration on it, none of that weird stuff, just spell, 1 action. Spell, perception, stealth, acrobatics, staying on dash wire. Ivara can stay on dash wire easily, right. That's why I specifically put in here, Ivara and its allies may run along the dash wire with ease. Those 2 words are communicating very clearly to a DM, this is not a difficult act. They can just run along it. Because Warframes, they don't worry about, whoa, gotta stay careful on the dash wire. No problem whatsoever. So yeah, that's why I'm going with that. It also means I don't need to include even more dice rolls for everyone that gets onto a dash wire. That's also why it's invisible to enemies, or not allies. 1, it doesn't trigger them going, hey, why is there this weird glowing line across the sky? They can't see it. And secondly, the DM doesn't have to go, it might be difficult to make a roll. No. It's invisible, the players don't even know it's there. They just see him walking in the sky maybe and go, what do you do? How? And then they die because of Ivara. Something like that. And if you wonder, how can they stay on this magical dash wire? Magical. That's how. Right. Ivara enchants its next arrow immediately prior to firing it. Taking control of the projectile. Taking control of the arrow in the flight. I had a few different ideas as to how we can go about this, thinking like maybe having a amount of distance the arrow can travel, and setting rules based on that. Having it based on number of enemies it can go through, have it based on the attack rolls and whatnot. Various different options have come to mind, and then there's also the damage scaling or crit scaling and punch through mechanics, all kinds of weirdy schmeardiness. There's also the matter of the invisibility whilst it's active, but it turns out that's not going to be a problem because we can have it all done in 1 turn. What's going to happen midway through? Nothing, that's what. So there's a lot to go on. Idle saying, attacking is an action, so if Navigator is also an action, you have to be prepped the turn before. Is that plan, or should it be changed to bonus action? Idle Outlaw, you've forgotten that spells can attack. That's all. Literally, that's the entire thing you've forgotten. Spells can attack. It's not a problem. If Ivara shouts its next arrow immediately prior to firing it, taking control of the arrow in flight. Yeah. I'll put, to be clear for yourself and anyone else that'll read it, immediately prior to firing it as part of this spell. Taking control of it in flight. Yeah. I thought it was a spell to control a shot from a normal arrow, not attacking and of itself. Alright, take an arrow. Chance it. Off it goes. An action doesn't mean you can do this and this only. An action is just, okay, this is the thing you're doing on your turn, really. That action can be, I attack twice. That action can be, I cast this spell that says I can do it as an action. That action can be, I take this healing potion, unstopper it, heal it, chuck the vial somewhere, be it in my backpack or on the ground, who cares. An action isn't a specific unit of time. It is a limitation on the amount of things you can do. In this case, Navigator allows Ivara to take the arrow, enchant the arrow, fire the arrow, do the arrow. Become the arrow, not do the arrow. That would hurt. So no Navigator for throwing items. So I might include that as a rider later on, but we're focusing first and foremost on making Navigator actually do something. Again, I'm not making Ivara the Warframe, taking every single detail and trying to write it down. Oh, I just smacked my desk with my elbow. Oh. I'm not trying to write down the entirety of the Warframe wiki into a D&D character sheet, because that would suck tremendously. What I'm trying to do is make it where there is a monster that looks like and acts like Ivara, enough for people who play Warframe to go, oh shit, that's Ivara, and for people who don't play Warframe to go, oh shit, it's a monster, and then still have fun playing D&D. Ivara enchants its... so it may need to specify chance and fires an arrow. Yeah. Enchants of... Yeah, let's rephrase its next arrow. Enchants an arrow and fires it as part of the spell, taking control of the arrow and fly. There we are. How's that wording? Maybe change the wording in the brackets to spell attack. Don't need to do that. I'm specifying it's a spell, meaning that it can be counterspelled. You don't need to specify a spell attack until you've got an attack that it is an attack which is being done by a spell. That would be otherwise a pointless specificity. An incorrect specificity, because the enchantment is not an attack. The attack is the attack. Yeah. That should clear it up for DMs who want to be picky on themselves for some reason. Ivara enchants an arrow and fires it as part of this spell, taking control of the arrow in flight. Ivara can direct the arrow towards... Ivara can direct the arrow in any direction, freely turning midair, to travel a maximum of 300 feet. Go 300? No, 600. That's long. Do I go 600 or start with 300? An amount. I'll figure out the number in a moment. Freely turning midair to travel a maximum of some amount of feet. This includes directing the arrow out of Ivara's sight. No. This includes... No. That's getting cumbersome. Ivara enchants an arrow and fires it as part of the spell, taking control of the arrow in flight. Able to perceive from the perspective of the arrow. That covers the vision bit I was going to go on to there. Able to perceive from the perspective of the arrow. Ivara can direct it in any direction, freely turning midair to travel a maximum of XX feet. If Ivara directs the arrow to strike an enemy, to strike a creature, not an enemy, a creature, it makes a ranged spell attack. Should I capitalize attack? Yeah. Ranged spell attack against the creature. Should it be similar in function to Magic Missile, but able to penetrate multiple targets? Magic Missile is an auto hit. I don't want to do that. Players should be rewarded for having armor. With this Navigator, Ivara is literally going to be able to sit behind a wall, fire the arrow, and go wee 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 wee, very Yondo style. But players should still be able to block and dodge. Otherwise, it's just going to hurt. Makes a ranged spell attack against the creature, and that is going to be a ranged spell attack. It's going to be 3, 4, plus 7 to hit using intelligence. Yeah. I'm not going to put that in brackets actually. Plus 7 to hit. And then it is 9 brackets 2d8 piercing damage. It's kind of designed to hurt, but each their own. The point is hurt without counterplay. If it becomes just like Magic Missile, if Ivara says you take damage, deal with it. There's no counterplay, there's no interest, there's no abilities being invoked. Players can't bring up their AC to deal with it. Players can't try and use cover to deal with it. Should Navigator ignore cover bonuses? No. Navigator is going to require Ivara to move the arrow around the cover. That's the ignoring of cover bonuses. And hence there is the limited range on it. That's where I'm figuring with this. Makes a ranged spell attack against creature, +7 to hit, X amount of damage. The arrow continues in flight regardless. The arrow then continues in flight, just clearly. The arrow then continues in flight. And Ivara can direct to hit to target additional creatures. For each creature attacked, spell damage increases by 2d8. Yeah. For each creature attacked, the spell damage increases by 2d8. We'll see if that's a balanced amount in a moment. If Ivara misses a target by 5 or more, or has covered or the arrow has travelled XX distance, the spell ends and the arrow drops. Let's recombine these sections. And split the page, there we go. So, Ivara enchants an arrow and fires it as part of the spell, taking control of the arrow in flight, able to perceive from the perspective of the arrow, which covers the ability to see around corners. Ivara can direct it in... Did I miss it? Ivara can direct it in any direction, freely turning mid-air to travel a maximum of some amount of distance. If Ivara directs the arrow to strike a creature, it makes a ranged spell attack against a creature, +7 to hit, 9 damage. The arrow then continues in flight, and Ivara can direct it to target additional creatures. For each creature attacked, the spell damage increases by such and such. If Ivara misses a target by 5 or more, or the arrow has travelled far enough, the spell ends and the arrow drops. Right. Got a nice foot range and the arrow will be fair at this level, could be wrong. We'll see. We'll see exactly how much we want. If the arrow's moving around the battlefield, wouldn't it be kind of hard to keep track of 300 feet worth of movement? Only as much as normal movement around things. Did we lose some frames? I'm showing no issue at the moment, but might have done. I only have enough screen space to handle so much at once, including creating characters. But yeah, but you can track distance on a battle map. Easy enough. If a DM has trouble tracking distance, I wish them all the best in their endeavours of running a D&D game. Honestly. I really do wish them all the best. So, let's get a vibe on the balance so far. Ivara misses a target by 5 or more, which is actually reasonably easy to do, certainly when you've only got a +7 to hit. That's actually pretty easy to do. So if Ivara misses a target by 5 or more, or the arrow has travelled enough distance, the spell ends, the arrow drops. So with that 7, if you've got, say, a target with 15 AC, which is far from unreasonable at level 9, if you've got a target with 15 AC, you'd need an 8 to hit, which means if you roll a 3, 2, or 1, the arrow drops. So on every enemy of AC 15, there's a 15% chance the spell just ends right there. Job done. It's over. And as the damage scales over time, the sooner it dies, you lose a huge amount of potential damage. So I think that scaling can work out. The other thing I need to put in is that I don't want to have it where it attacks the same creature more than once, I think. Can direct it to target additional creatures. No creature can be targeted more than once by the same arrow. Would the navigator extend the standard range of the arrow fired, or is it still affected by the range set of the longbow for anything beyond 150 feet? It's separate. It's an enchanted arrow. We're not using the longbow, we're using the enchanted arrow. So it's enchanted. It doesn't care about that range stat anymore, just like in Warframe for that matter. Yeah, because if it was limited to unlimited on the number of times you could attack one person, then the range distance you have to travel makes no sense. Because you just go in that one person and go, wee, oh, sorry, did it hit you 27 times? That would be shit. But instead the distance going, it has to go over there, and then over to here, and then over to there, and then over to there, and then over to here, and then over to... Yeah. Then we have the potential for counterplay. We have the potential for splitting up enough that the arrow can't do that. We have the potential for it being more difficult to use in, say, convoluted maps. Or labyrinthian kind of maps, rather than just open areas. Yondu's arrow is a very good comparison. Yeah. There's very much what the arrow does. Yondu's arrow is only good to the point of understanding the concept. The actual implementation is Yondu's arrow is ridiculously overpowered because Marvel does that. Shield reaction will be critical in stopping Navigator arrow. In fact, the shield reaction is a brilliant counterplay against this, yes. Not because it would be like, oh, it's a magic missile, block all damage, which would... It's a bit flat, quite frankly. Sure, I get it, but it's a bit flat. Instead, it's just, haha, here's this huge +5 you now have to surmount. And that can absolutely stop the arrow dead. The idea being there, if the arrow has missed by 5 or more, the arrow has flown so badly towards a target that the enchantment has been basically knocked off it. The arrow has been damaged too much to be able to continue the enchantment. That's the idea there. If you missed by just a little bit, okay, the arrow just missed, it can continue onwards. Missed by too much, oh, that went wrong. Spell dead. So yeah, the shield reaction would absolutely interfere with that and be great for it. Oh. Balancing. Typical expectation is that you'll have a party of 4. If you got a party of more than 4, well, damage is going to scale up. That's what you get for trying to gang up against Ivara. But also there's that scaling 15% chance of failure, assuming an AC of 15, which I think is not unreasonable to expect against this level of play. The chance of it hitting 5 creatures, or being allowed to hit 5 creatures, is about 50-50. Because that 15% each time, after 4 creatures, that's a 48% chance that the arrow's failed. At some point up to that point. Yeah. Guys say, as a GM, I'd allow knowledgeable characters who do their research to use shield even on a miss to push their AC high enough to kill the arrow. Absolutely, yeah. That's a very good thing to do, absolutely. Might even be worth a text box on that one. That's a good shout. I might include that. Yeah, we got the space for it. That's a very good shout, Jason. I will make that as a note to GMs for this. First, let's wrap up the damage stats here, because 9 are put in as placeholders. Do we want to go for 9 or what? I want to go for about 50 damage per round. Let's see how much damage per round we're getting out of the rest of the setup. The sneak attack won't apply, because that is a weapon attack, but I specified very clearly this is a ranged spell attack, so Navigator doesn't have to worry about sneak attack. So that's good. This is a +8 to hit. And the damage, using a +4. Why is my cursor over there? +4. A dagger attack would be a 6. Which is not particularly amazing. It's 6.5 average. The game rounds down to 6. Likewise, this one, +4 becomes an 8. So what we're seeing here is that the bow can do 16. This can do 6, 12, 18. Ooh, that bonus action is going to pull away. Gotta bear that in mind. Right, so I can't wait for this to be finished. Start pestering Ken to do D&D sessions. That is actually kind of part of the plan, Ray. Once I've got the full document, yeah. If the Navigator could use Sneak Attack, it would insta-murder an entire party. It would. Well, actually, no, it wouldn't, because Sneak Attack can only trigger once per turn. Gotta remember that. But otherwise, yes. That would be very devastating to someone. Yeah. Wait, Navigator is kind of like VATS in Fallout? No. No, I'll disagree on that. VATS, you don't really take control of your projectiles. You have computerized targeting. It's not really the same. Anyway. Maester is more like VATS. Kind of. That would be more accurate, yeah. If you've got a high-powered VATS for accuracy, yeah. Just activate. Oh, that worked. Yeah, that fits. That absolutely fits. Anyway, we're not doing Mason, we're doing Ivara. We're making Ivara. So, damage scaling, as I said, we're looking at getting 50 damage per round, so across 3 rounds, it's 150 damage. This output here, assuming we always get the sneak attack, a good thing to assume. The dagger is the strongest of all the options. Let's assume that the dagger is the one we're using. Dagger is 18, sneak attack is currently set, is another 14. Do I want to raise that? We'll figure it out. 18 and 14 gives us 32. Gives us 32. Okay. So I could increase this a bit. Increase it to 21, 66. That brings the 32 up to 39. Which still leaves us 11 across 2 turns to add on to the Navigator. So I make this 50, 60, 72 damage in total. That's what I'm aiming for. Right. 72 damage. We got 9, and then 18, and then 27, and then 36. Comes out to 90. Oh, that's a bit harsh. Turn the music down just a little bit. Yeah, I can do that. There we are. That should be a few decibels lower. Okay. So if we get 9, followed by 18, followed by 27, followed by 36 damage, we get 90 damage out of it. However, if one of them misses, or if the third one misses enough that we don't get to that 90, we actually can get 54 damage. Ooh. I wonder if I want to go for a higher starting damage and just a lower scaling. Maybe that'll be less swingy. Yeah, less swing is going to be a good idea here, probably. So if I go 3d8 plus 1d8 or something like that, maybe even 4d8 plus 1d8. Let's see. 4d8 would be 18, and then plus 1d8 thereafter is an increase of 4.5, so 18, 22, 27, and then 31. Comes out to 98 damage, that's even higher. But there is, again, always that chance of it failing. What's the calculation chance of failure per hit? So I'm running with the assumption that the average creature that Ivara will be shooting at would have an AC at 15 at this point, suggesting that Ivara would have a 15% chance to miss. Sorry, not 15% chance to miss, a 15% chance to miss so badly that the spell fails. That's what I'm running with as an idea there. And obviously, the higher the AC of a player, the more problematic it becomes. If Ivara shoots at someone who is AC 20, a +7 to hit means that they need a 13 to hit. It's 8 or below, which is 40% of the rolls, would end the spell. If it's AC 20 plus shield spell, my god. 65% chance Ivara's spell ends, just like that. There's counterplay. There is significant counterplay. There are ways it can go wrong. So I think allowing the damage to scale on Navigator works for the simple principle that it's got an increased chance of not going anywhere. Versus just say if you have 4 attacks of this damage. Which is what the normal damage calculation assumes. There would be just, oh, you're doing 4 attacks, they may or may not hit. We're also using a +7, whereas for this tier, we would be expecting to be using a +9 to hit. So using a +7 because it's a spell attack, so that's also reducing the damage output here. So you know what? As much as I said 98 seemed like quite a lot, if I were to scale it down, like using 1d8 less on each of them, that would take off... Let me see here. 1d8 4 times over is 18 damage. It'll bring us down to 80. No, I think letting the swing exist works. Not the swing, letting the high damage exist. Some parties will get murdered by this. Also, Shotgun Navigator on the first hit. That's the thing. No one's going to get murdered by this shite because it's distributed damage. It's not like if a monster could do 3d8 5 times to one person. That would absolutely be swingy. That would be whack, 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 whack. If that person just ends up with unlucky rolls against them, certainly any crits, they just fold. This is some amount of damage, but it has to be to that one, then that one, then that one, then that one. It has to be split up. That actually reduces a swing. You think a level 9 character, let's go for a level 9 wizard. If you got a +1 con, if you're not even got +1 con, what are you trying to do as a wizard? A +1 con wizard, level 9, you're going to have 7 from level 1, and then you'll have 8 levels of 5 hit point gain. You have 47 health. Yeah, 47 health. And we're saying that the max hit from Navigator on a 4-person party will be 31. Max average hit, not counting crits, not counting lucky rolls. So if even a wizard can withstand the hardest hit there out of all of them, granted that wizard is going to be going, ah! But if it can withstand it, I think that's actually valid. Scary, yes, it's valid. So let's make it 48 and a growth of 1d8. And if a DM is not even rolling out the d8, then that growth is going to be even lower because it's technically 4.5. Party member 1 takes 18, party member 2 takes 22, party member 3 takes 27, party member 4 takes 31 damage. And if you have even more party members beyond that, then this is me saying to the DMs that run groups of 7, 8, 9, 10 people, stop. Stop what you're doing. And for once in life, Navigator actually encourages you to split the party. Don't split the party. No, bad idea. But technically it's a benefit this once. And only this once. Right, getting carried away. Let's refocus on the actual stats here. The distance. If we go with 300 feet, that puts it well outside the maximum range of a longbow. Whilst it does put it outside the maximum range of most things that players can do, if the players split up, like if you have a circle spreading 120 feet distance away from the Ivara on 3 perfect triangle corners, granted that is an extremely weird situation, but let's say so, 300 feet would 1, 2, still connect them near enough. Yeah, let's not... 300 is quite a bit. I'm going to halve that, 150. This is something that's going to need playtesting. Like, there's nothing else we can say on this one, unfortunately, aside from just getting vibes and imagining scenarios. This one's probably just going to need to be playtested to even get an idea as to how brilliant or horrible it can be. If players are grouped up, Navigator will be able to smack through all of them until the AC gets in the way. If they split up, 150 feet could mean that Ivara has to wait to use it, has to get closer, because if they're 120 feet away, you can get one, and then 30 feet to next, oh, we're out of speed now. Oh. I was saying, played Pathfinder last weekend, we split the party and our wizard got insta-killed by a Cyclops. Yeah, no. Sorry, if you split the party and someone called Wizard ends up alone and in a fight, no. Also, if your wizards get insta-killed by something, double no, what were they doing there? No. Don't split the party. Oh yeah, Navigator I think works with this. Now that looks like a big old wall of text. Can I make that more readable? Ivara enchants an arrow to fire it takes control. Ivara can direct any turn, free to stay in midair to maximum shit. Let's line break here. Nah, it's gonna need a double break. It just looks too much. There we are. If Ivara directs the arrow to strike a creature, so yeah, this is the damage. This is the attack section. This is the control section. Yeah, that works. That's readable. Just curious, but how would monks deflect arrows function here? At the behest of the DM. I know it's a horrible answer. It's an enchanted arrow. It's a spell attack. Would that be valid? Monk 5e. Let me read the wording on it and make it a call. Because this is going to be a question that comes up and you can clip my call here when I make it. You can use reaction, deflect or catch a missile when you are hit by a ranged weapon attack. Nope, not valid. Boom! Phraseology wins again. It is not a ranged weapon attack. Oh, there we are. I don't have to think about the question any further now. I've rules lawyered my way out of this one. Suck it, monks. Absolutely, Jason. And you see, this is something that Warframe, if they were the ones dealing with it, if DE were designing this, they'd go, oh god, we didn't even think of that interaction, which granted I didn't either. We didn't think of that interaction. How are we going to handle this one? I don't know, come up with an idea and shove it in there. 2 months after the release of the book. Me, I use, codified language. We have these specific terms which mean specific things. Ranged, spell, attack. Keyword systems. Absolutely, I love or keywords. Mechanical writing, or whatever it's called. No, technical writing, that's it. Not mechanical. Technical writing. Because of use of technical writing, the writing itself gave us the answer. See how much easier that is for designing DE? You know, do you want to take some lessons here? I can't tell you what I know about certain decisions because I have asked them in a private context, but suffice to say, the answers I have got to my questions about certain decisions have not been entirely satisfactory. I can't go into more detail because I'm fairly certain this would go up against my NDA. But I have asked certain questions about some of the designs that we have in Warframe, some of the features. I've asked certain questions and the answers I have received have not always been wholly satisfactory. With context, read that how you will. Read that how you will. Right, do we add the cloak arrow? Fuck it, why not? I'm gonna call it Shadow, because Rogue. Yeah, we got Dash Wire, Lethargy, Shadow. Air around the arrow briefly shatters into a fractal pattern for repairing itself. The air around the arrow in a 10-foot radius sphere shatters before repairing itself. Ivara and its allies in the area, in the sphere, become invisible. If an affected creature leaves the area, in the sphere, various allies in the sphere become. I'm phrasing that they can enter the sphere after the formation. If Ivara or its allies enter the sphere, they become invisible. If an affected creature leaves the area, the invisibility immediately ends. I think that is the best phrasing I can do right now. The air around the arrow in a 10-foot radius sphere briefly shatters into a fractal pattern before repairing itself. Just giving a bit of visual imagery. Think of like Doctor Strange. That whole kind of just shattering air. It looks like you've just cracked the glass into literally a mirror dimension. But just for a moment, then it's back. Everyone there that was on Ivara's side is suddenly no longer there. They're invisible. So kind of add to your Warframe Ivara's 2 invisibility abilities? Yeah. Equip Shade, now you got 3. Would this be similar to Greater Invisibility, so they can attack and remain invisible? Oh yeah. There is no requirement to not attack. Instead, the restriction is it's in this bubble. Just like in Warframe. Just the bubble. So it's not lesser, it's definitely greater, but they have to be there. At a 10-foot radius, it does give you somewhere to work from, but it's not amazing. The biggest part of invisibility isn't the fact that you are hidden, it's the fact that you are unseen. And for anyone who's not played D&D enough to understand the difference, it can seem like I am splitting hairs, but trust me, it's very important. Because 1, there are a number of spells which target creatures you can see. Obviously, if they're invisible, doesn't matter if you know exactly where they're stood, you can't see them. Fireball counterplay, yes. Absolutely. Fireball, the bit where they all vanish, that works. Fireball always works. Secondly, invisibility, because you are unseen, you are an unseen attacker, so you have advantage to hit. Even if someone knows exactly where you are and knows you're going to attack, they still can't see the minutiae of your attack. They can't see when you've drawn the bow. They can't see that you're attacking them or someone else or how you're attacking them. It's just one moment, they know an attack's about to come. Next moment, the arrow's just narrowly dodged, or just narrowly missed them or something like that. So yeah. Ivara hates wizard, shield, fireball, and other AoE attacks. Yeah, Ivara is going to have difficulty with spellcasters. Absolutely. Ivara has a good dexterity to try and save against spellcasters' effects, but Ivara doesn't have much to deal with spellcasters. Absolutely. Spellcasters are going to be great against Ivara. Martials, not so great. Ranged martials will have a better chance. The martials which are getting up and close, they better have some good armor on them to be able to actually resist all these attacks. The bit where casters are going to fear Ivara is if they do not have support. If Ivara can take a clean shot at a caster, that sneak attack damage is going to hurt. So that's the trade-off. If casters can do a lot to Ivara, Ivara can do a lot to the casters. It's a touch and go balance. Anyway, Shadow, so yeah. Fractal pattern, Ivara or its allies enter the sphere, they become invisible. If an affected creature leaves the area, the invisibility immediately ends. Bap. Nice and simple. We've already got the duration on the spell itself, it's 1 minute. Yeah, basic. Caster's still going to suffer if they don't know she's there. Exactly, yeah. Right then, so let's now add in the spells. And what I'm actually going to do here, as I break all the formatting, bear with. No, I don't need a double break. What am I doing? I need one break. There we are. One per short wording rest. Navigator. And that is going to be 3rd level, 4th level, 4th level. And Quiver here has upgraded to a 3rd level through the inclusion of that invisibility. And I'm going to make it 2 per short rest. Because I'm a dick. Yep. Ivara gets to use 2 of those. The real reason is because 2 of them are just serious utility. Like, the slowing is nice, but that's a whole action to slow down a small group of enemies. The dash wire is very utility, and the invisibility has its uses, but those uses are relatively limited. You are constraining yourself to a small area, which for Ivara can actually be quite the problem. So because of that, it's not a very powerful ability, it's certainly not a very damaging ability. I feel very safe in giving her 2 uses. Whereas Navigator, definitely 6 to 1 use. Ivara Self-Proud? Not yet, no. This is Ivara Adept. Ivara Adept has access to the 1st and 2nd ability. All Adepts have 1st and 2nd abilities. Initiate 1st, Adept 1st and 2nd, Master 1st, 2nd, 3rd, Prime 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. This was a design choice I made very early on, and it allows me to scale the complexity of the monster. This Ivara Initiate is actually really complicated, in that it's got a really long stat block for such a low-level monster. Whereas if you compare to, say, Inaris, it all fits into one column. We've got, he can jump, if he crits, he gets some health back, here's a spell he can cast, otherwise daggers and crossbow. We go even further up, like this is Atlas Initiate. Rock and Stone, so has increased unarmed damage dice. Literally, this is just saying his punches are going to hit harder, that's all. It's almost a non-mention. Almost. Here's a single spell he can cast once, and then he just punchy, 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 punchy. So yeah, that's the design. As they level up, as you get to higher tiers, they are more complicated because the players and DM both are expected to be able to handle more complicated stuff. You did hear Rock and Stone, yes. Atlas is Rock and Stone. We made that joke like last year. Typical Atlas? Yes! Exactly, yeah. I'd like I said earlier, it feels like we could upgrade the cloak into Prowl rather than add it as a separate skill. When you say cloak, the cloak arrow into Prowl. Nah, Prowl's going to be its own thing. Prowl's got more going on than that. Trust me. We wouldn't make such a boring single-hour spell of just being a cloak arrow, but arrow. We'll do more. Anyway, let's make sure that this all balances out. We've got the jump. We got all the stats. Those have been done correctly. So that's all good. Alert, sneak attack. Sneak attack's been updated to 21. We got our quiver. We got our dash wire, lethargy, and shadow. Got our navigator. That is all good. The DM will have to adjudicate whether they get advantage for stealth or whatnot, if it'll apply on navigator at any point. Up to the DM. Because it's a ranged spell attack, I would say yes if Ivara is acting from a position where Ivara is unseen. So Ivara needs to get full use of that. Navigator will not trigger the sneak attack because it is not a weapon attack. There we are, that's fine. I'm going to capitalize weapon attack. I want to make this very clear that this is technical language. So I went off and won about it earlier. So let's capitalize that. There we are. It's the little details. Got our number of casts, we got our DC corrected. +7 to hit. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, I think this is good. This is good. Idol saying, Cloak Arrow is a 10-foot invisible sphere. Prowl could be an upgraded cloak that is basically centered on herself, allows her to move at reduced speed. Unless currently walk on dash fire kind of thing. In up to the HP. Ah, yes, we do, yes. And the AC for that matter. Did I not do the AC either? That's really weird. Let's see. Challenge 9 says AC 16 suggestion. I only want to go 1 down. Let's go 15, and because of that, it's now natural armor. Hit points, we are looking at around about 120, which with a +1, 120 divided by 5.5 comes out to, ooh, that's an ugly number, 121, that works. 121, which is equal to 22 plus 22. Boom. I'm good. Yeah, no, I'm gonna keep it separate to allow Prowl to be its own ability. It deserves that. Worth noting, I went lower than the chat suggested HP on the CR4 version. I did, yes, and I also did that here on the CR9 version. CR9 is recommended 135, I've gone 120, or 121. I am intentionally making Ivara slightly weaker in the health department, slightly stronger in the damage department. Which is adding into that kind of stealth hunter vibe. Stay out the way, get the kill, don't get hit. It's design intention, which is the exact opposite of Inaros, who has, at Challenge 19, 399 hit points. Or to compare ones against we've done so far, the Adept, Ivara Adept 121, Inaros Adept has 195 hit points. With armor class 17 rather than 15. They are polar opposites in their design there. It's intentional. And then Ivara has Navigator, Inaros has... I will get to you eventually. Yeah. Anyway. That is the Adept. I hope I've got nothing wrong there. Probably got nothing wrong, you know. Probably. Let's make the Master. Oh, I didn't add that. Wait. The note. We wanted to, or I wanted to put in a bit here. It was about... blocking Navigator. I don't know why that is so big. Do I need 2 hashes? 3 hashes. There we are. Players may have access to features which increase their armor class upon being hit in an attempt to reduce a hit to a miss. Double space. As Navigator is... Why is this indented, but that ain't? Auto BR. Okay, let's just do... I want a bit more space than that, come on. Fuck it, full line it is. That'll do. As Navigator is vulnerable to failing if it misses by 5 or more, consider allowing players to use their abilities to increase their AC even if the arrow should miss. Naturally, only players... No. Only... characters who have studied Ivara's tactics should know to do this. There we are. Little note to the DM. Blocking Navigator. Players may have access to features which increase their armor class upon being hit in an attempt to reduce a hit to a miss. As Navigator is vulnerable to failing if it misses by 5 or more, consider allowing players to use their abilities to increase their AC even if the arrow should miss. Naturally, only characters who have studied Ivara's tactics should know to do this. I'm going to take the other word naturally. Naturally sounds insulting, actually. Just only characters who have studied Ivara's tactics should know that this is an option. Yeah. Yeah. I think that'll fit. The DM can come up with DC. I've given DC guidelines for intelligence at the start. Preparation begets success, but the rest of it, it's up to them. That should be enough of a note, I think. If it misses by 5 or more, what exactly? So Cosmo, that's referring to the Navigator ability here. It says in this one, the arrow then continues in flight, blah, 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 blah. No creature can be targeted more than once by the same arrow. For each creature affected, yada. If Ivara misses a target by 5 or more, all the arrows traveled 150 distance. I did miss a bit. Whoops, let's fix that. Or if the arrow has traveled 150 feet, again, the spell ends and the arrow drops. So this is referring to the ranged spell attack if they've missed a target by 5 or more. So Ivara needs to hit a 17. If Ivara rolls, they get a 12. They've missed by 5 or more. They've missed by 5, so the spell just ends. The arrow has lost its juice. So this is just a reminder to the DM. Allow the players, like Jason recommended earlier, allow the players to interact with that, to use something that normally only turn a hit into a miss, to further improve their armor class, and potentially shut down the arrows earlier. It's a very smart idea from Jason. Shinigo, cheers. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, no, I'm not missing any unit there. I'm not missing any unit. Some of the units in D&D are pretty interesting, though. You have to acknowledge that a speed measured in feet is what? Unless you know that a turn is 6 seconds, or sorry, a round is 6 seconds. A speed measured in distance doesn't make sense. I remember introducing a player to Dungeons and Dragons, and they were very perplexed by that at first, especially as they were looking instead. They hadn't got to their own character speed, they'd gone straight to spells, and they came across a spell, Long Stride, or it says your speed increases by 10 feet. They're like, 10 feet what? 10 feet per second? 10 feet per minute? The other one, who's also new, responded, nope, it increases your speed by 10 feet. You can move 10 feet more once, ever. I'm like, well, sign me up for that frickin' deal, yeah. This game can be stupid. All games can be stupid in that regard, but yeah. It's definitely a thing in units. It's definitely a thing. Right, withering aside, let's make Ivara Master. Ivara Master. Challenge rating 14. The XP increases to 11,500, I believe. Proficiency goes up to 5. Armor class, I would now like to have that go up to 16. Not much of an increase, but it's fine. The hit points, I want to get that to about 195. I'll figure out how to do that in a moment. The stats across the board, according to my cheat sheet, need to go up to +1 on everything but charisma. Why did I say it like that? It's charisma, not charisma. Jesus. I sound like a moron when I do that. There we go. Ken, you might want to replace that with the previous block since you tweaked a couple things. How much did I tweak? How much did I tweak? Let me copy from alert down to Tiger. It's fine. I missed a chevron. It's fine. All right, cool. You know what you're watching happen right now? I am turning a Warframe into 4 D&D monsters, Sanjay. So, just to flick us up to the top here, where's my scroll bar gone? There it is. I've created an introduction to Warframes, which are designed to be able to play them as monsters without knowing what Warframes are. So that someone really interested in Warframe and is also a Dungeon Master brings it in, or maybe a Warframer is one of the players of the group and they say to the DM, hey, it'd be great to use these monsters. The DM just kind of looks and goes, the fuck's a Warframe? This is designed to introduce them to it without having to play Warframe. And then, quite literally, they are monsters. Giving the stat blocks from the very basic stuff, Excalibur, ultra basic, the poster boy of basic, even his stats are basic, they are bang on the money. No variances, no weirdness going on there. Down to your more complicated ones, like Gauss Prime, has a lot going on. A lot. How's Ivara going? We are currently getting ready to start on the Master. Just getting ready to go on to that side of things. I'm going to actually increase Ivara's speed to 35 at this point, just as a point of interest. Skills, this is where I want to bring in the animal handling suggestion. As a throwback to conservation. That is going to be a +9. Perception is going to be increased to a +9 as well. I double plus. Stealth is now a +10, and survival is a +9. There we are. Valkyrie and D&D when? At the rate we've been going, 2035? Probably around about then. Yeah, we're going through alphabetically, Garuga. It's gonna be a while. We're on I at the moment. There's not a lot of J's, but, yeah. Yeah, I'm going through alphabetically. With the exception of the 3 starters, I did Excalibur, Mag, and Vault as the starters, as a kind of setting the concept, and then I'm gone through alphabetically thereafter. True. Those stats are all correct now. Bullet jump, that is increased to a 10-foot vertical or a 28-foot horizontal. These numbers can seem a little bit meaningless, especially if you have never grown up learning feet. So, just for example, this is saying that Ivara just stood on the spot, no run up, no anything to it, can just go jump, and their feet will get 10 feet off the ground, which is just shy of 2 typical people off the ground. So Ivara could leap to the first story of a building near enough. In fact, not near enough, actually. Ivara could just straight up leap to the first story of a building from the ground with no run up, no effort to it. Just up, straight up. Which is pretty nasty. That's why I'm putting in the bullet jumps on all these Warframes, to give them that little bit of, oh shit, we can't even get up on a ledge to get away from them. And Primes get triple distance rather than double. That's always fun. Right, I'll look at the sneak attack in a moment. Quiver, I'll have a look at the details in a moment, except for the DC. It needs to be updated. DC 4 and 5 is 9, plus 8 is 17. Because that's how it's calculated. Just is... oh, I didn't put the spell attack bonus on the previous one as well. Got that. Spell save DC... Attack bonus plus 7. Yeah. Spell save DC is 17. Attack bonus plus... Oops. Plus 9. I did put plus and not equals, right? Yes. Good. Hotfix dropped. Apparently a bug was fixed with Overguard. Apparently you have the same damage reduction and healing rules as defense objective. Was active for something? Huh? I'll have to have a look at what that patch note's saying, Zob. Or what's being said elsewhere. Did I retcon the C's so Citrine was added in? I did not know. I'll get back to Citrine. Excuse me. Been speaking a lot. Oh, ding. Yeah, no, I've not done Citrine yet. Basically, if I've passed a letter, I will just come back to it eventually. That's on Warframe for adding in a C frame. Didn't they know I was doing this project? I told them about it. Fixability slowdowns affecting Overguard. Oh, allied slowdowns. Oh, okay. About time they finally fixed that. So yeah, this is a +9 to hit. And 17. Are the only save so far? Yes, it is. Excuse me. Okie dokie. The attack's down here. That +8 has become a +10 to hit. The damage has increased to a 5, therefore this is a 7. Likewise, this one is a 5, so that has increased to 9. What is that? Did I not? It's just stupid. Apparently, didn't update the attack bonus on the Ivara Adept. How much did I miss? Crikey. Q-frame when? Oh no, the Q-frame's not going to happen. Q-frames are banned. Yeah, the letter's too weird, so we just... Q-frames aren't going to happen. There are 25 letters in the alphabet. We're missing D, J, Q, and U. Yep. Well, oh, no. No, we're not missing U. And we are, but we're not. But we are. Umbra. And I know it's Excalibur Umbra, but Umbra. So technically, yes, but... it's silly. Anyway, Q has the audacity to be a fancy hero. Where's the lie? So yeah, we got those stats updated there. Now let's get into the meat of it. So we've got Navigator. Let's do a droppity, and this is Prowl. Spell, 1 action. And I'm going to make this 1 hour, which I think might actually be the first of all the Warframe abilities to last more than a minute, if it has a duration at all. 1 hour, but concentration. Is this going to effectively be greater invisibility? Pretty much, but no. But yes, but no. Think in terms of what features am I going to give it, rather than, hey, here's this thing someone else already made, let me talk about that instead. Yeah? Ivara reaves itself in primal... I'm not going to use that word. Some people don't like primal magics existing. Ivara reaves itself in... refracting magic. No one can get upset at refraction. Refracting magic. Concealing itself under the veil of invisibility. In order to remain invisible, Ivara cannot jump. Ivara cannot use the bullet jump and double jump features. May not dash. And may not... We'll go into the noise aspect. Yeah, and may not speak. So, in order to remain invisible, Ivara cannot use the bullet jump and double jump features, may not dash, and may not speak. We can roll. Yes. There is absolutely nothing wrong with tumbling. If Ivara does any of these things, the invisibility is suspended until the end of Ivara's next turn. And naturally, it's suspended until the end of Ivara's next turn, so if during that turn Ivara also breaks those rules again, it's further suspended until the end of the next turn. But that means that Ivara can do these things and then go back to invisibility. This is where it becomes slightly stronger than the Warframe version. So Ivara can still move the full 35 feet, but can't sprint, i.e. dash. Can't bullet jump, can't double jump, so it's very limited, but can still do a normal jump. And can't speak, but doesn't have loud weapons, like a dagger and a longbow. They're not going to break invisibility normally, so we'll allow it here too. I'm including the slowed speed and removing the penalty on dash wire. With the dash wire, yeah, let's allow it on the dash wire. Don't have guns yet. For pretty much all the Warframes, I've not gone down the guns route because a lot of DMs don't like to have firearms in their games. So most of them don't actually have any form of gun whatsoever. 195 is 30d8 plus 60. Thank you. 30d8 plus 6. Yeah, that's right, yeah. Sorry, I had a brain fart there thinking. Mace will probably be the main exception to that rule. Yeah. Like, as well for Hydroid. I'll just scroll up here. So Hydroid, we've got the Initiate has a cutlass and a pistol crossbow. The Adept has a cutlass and a pistol crossbow. The Master has a cutlass and a pistol crossbow. You might be seeing a trend here. But the Prime has a cutlass and the Tsar hand cannon. And cannons are still perfectly fine in itself, really. They're still not exactly firearms. But the point is that something more exotic has been held off, because the idea of a hand cannon, so a cannon you can carry, is still a bit extreme. I'd like to say flintlocks and muskets are often allowed, just not like Warframe level weaponry. And even a lot of DMs don't like to include that. Seriously, Outlaw. Plenty of DMs don't like to include any kind of firearm in their games, and I respect that. It does run a bit counter to the typical sword and sorcery kind of setup that D&D really angles at, and guns can feel very shoehorned in, even if they would fit historically the timeline. So my designs here accommodate that by not focusing on the guns aspect. Because trying to marry the two together, you either end up with a very awkward gun, or you can end up with something that can really override the theme of what's going on. I don't want it to override too much of a DM's kind of world building. They can certainly add in a gun, but if a gun is the only ranged option, it can feel very much the design of the character. Oh, it needs a gun, does it? It's just one of those things. You never encountered a DM like that? Well, congratulations. You have learned how your worldview is not the entire worldview, yeah. Trust me, there's plenty. There are plenty. And actually, you have encountered DM like that, because Jason just admitted to being one of them. So there we are, your worldview has expanded. It's a thing, trust me. I wouldn't be saying it if I hadn't encountered it. Okie dokie, so, Prowl, Ivara reads itself in refractive magic, concealing itself under the veil of invisibility. In order to remain invisible, Ivara cannot use the bullet jump or double jump features. I'm going to rearrange may not speak and may not dash unless on a dash wire. Keeping the exception at the end of the sentence makes it cleaner, and may not dash unless on a dash wire. And I'm going to make that italicized to make it clear that it's not only a keyword, but it is a specific keyword rather than just a generalized one. It's a specific keyword to hear the dash wire from the spell. In which case, Idle Outlaw, I haven't met you, and therefore your opinion doesn't count, if we want to go back at. I have yet to encounter a DM who believes that other DMs do not believe things. Yeah, there we go. I've also therefore not met any opinion on Reddit ever, and thank fuck for that, because the opinions over there are often very toxic, and written by 12-year-olds. So bear that in mind. Justin saying guns are too much of an equalizer, gives marshals the equivalent of firebolt without worrying about spell slots. Bullets. Admittedly, marshals need help to close the power gap, but that's not the way to go. I agree that's not the way to go. And it's not a power gap. Marshals don't really have a power gap. They have an application gap. That's where marshals really struggle, because if you look at the pure numbers, you compare martial damage output to martial hit points to caster damage output and caster hit points in a blank field of enemy versus enemy, martial actually holds up, if not comes out on top most of the time. But if you entirely have a D&D campaign of blank fields of people just throwing their abilities at one another until one side reaches 0, your campaign is shit. It is. Also about the dash wire, with the wording is that all of the conditions removed on the dash wire, just the dash action one. Good thing. Good question, yeah. Let's separate that out. Ivara cannot use the bullet jump and double jump features and may not speak. Separate thing also, Ivara may not dash unless on a dash wire. There we are. That's very separated now. Thanks for heads up on that, Idol. That one was a bit broken. But yeah, the issue with Martial versus Caster is that casters have versatility. They have application. If a Martial character is facing a situation that they can neither stab nor block, the Martial has basically access to absolutely nothing that a Commoner doesn't have. There is, outside of stabbing and blocking, almost no difference between a typical Martial, and a Commoner. You might get skill proficiencies here or there. That's not really great. Cannot use bullet jump or double jump features. Let's see. Cannot use the bullet jump or double jump features. And cannot speak? No, and may. It's may, isn't it? No, yeah, you're right. Cannot speak. And may not. Cannot. And cannot speak. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It should be cannot, not may. The may is if Ivara does any of these things. You're right. So yeah, as I was saying again, when you take a caster out of a combat situation where a caster is not either stabbing with magic or blocking with magic, the caster still has a wealth of things they can do that a Commoner can't do. There's not just skill checks where they may have a bonus to it here or there. They have the ability to, oh no, either I or my allies are falling. Well, let's just featherfall. Now we're safe. I need to get into this place without being seen. I am invisible. Da-da! We would like to be in a new location. Well, I can teleport. Boom! What's that? We need to make sure no one breaks into here, but we have no means of handling it. I know. I will just magically lock the door, and I will set a magical alarm over it. Casters have access to a whole variety of things. Options, buttons they can press that other characters can't press. But Martials, by and large, have no buttons they can press outside of stabbing and blocking. It's not a power difference, it's an application difference, it's a versatility difference. Which in itself is a kind of power, yes. But the difference between power magnitude and power variety. What I'm specifying there. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, Prowl, the invisibility, yeah. Now, Prowl also has the benefits of headshot and looting. Do I want... I could give bonuses to sleight of hand, but I could have just done that as a skill. I haven't gone out of handling. And even then, bonus to sleight of hand? Yeah. I could give it advantage on skill checks using dexterity. That would give stealth advantage, which might be a lot, but then it's Ivara. That would give sleight of hand advantage. That would give dexterity for other things as well, like lockpicking advantage. Balance advantage, which I guess that's just what the spell is doing. It's just magically making Ivara more dexterous. They're prowling. I don't know. How does that sound? Advantage on ability checks using dexterity. Or dexterity ability check. No, it's ability checks using dexterity, yeah. I think that'll be the phrasing. Yeah, so we'll put this on a new line, just for readability purposes. While Ivara is invisible due to prowl, invisible does not need to be capitalized. While Ivara is invisible due to prowl, that needs to be italicized. Ivara has advantage on ability checks using dexterity. And that doesn't make the numbers any higher. Ivara doesn't go from a stealth plus 10 to a stealth plus 20 or something mad. It just means that Ivara is more likely to hit a higher value. And its ability checks, that doesn't include attacks, it doesn't include saving throws, so it's not a combat bonus. But it does give for that thief ability, the pickpocketing nature of Prowl, through sleight of hand. It gives the improved likelihood of pulling off stealth, that kind of stuff, yeah. I'm specifically skipping out on the saves because I still want Ivara to have vulnerabilities. If we give the dex saves any more power, she's already at a +5 just naturally, we can get kind of scale. I've just realised I've not been adding in saves at all. I should have added a save to Ivara Adept. Ah! Where do saves go? They go... Saving throws go at the top of the section here. Saving throws. Go wisdom. Powerful, but not too powerful. Yeah, that's the correct one. I always forget to add the saving throws, because they don't exist on the initiate. I always forget. Maybe it gives creature a disadvantage on perception checks against her. A creature's already going to have difficulty on perception because of the fact that Ivara is invisible. So perception checks relying on sight are already going to fail. Yeah, let's extend the saving throws now, because Adepts get 1 save, Masters get 2, Primes get 3. So we got the Wiz. Let's go Wiz and Char. Char's a pretty weak one. No one uses Char saving throws, so that'll be fine. I need to actually type Char. That would help. There we go. Right. Now we need to see if I need to scale up the spell levels here, because they may not be strong enough. And the weapons may not be strong enough. So, damage output that I am anticipating. We've got a challenge rating 14 creature. We're going for higher than that, so 15, which we're looking at a 75 damage per round output. Our attack bonuses are only +10, not the +11 it would suggest for this, so bearing that in mind, but we're going to have advantage in a lot of cases. But yeah, we're looking for 75 damage per round output. Now, Navigator we already know is still quite strong, so that overcomes that amount. So this doesn't have to be anywhere near as close to it, but let's see what we get currently, then what we might need to scale. This will hit twice currently for 18. This will hit twice for 14, but then again, with the bonus if we use it, becomes 21. So let's run that route. 21 plus the sneak attack of 21 is 42. That is well too low, yeah. Now I can just increase the sneak attack by another 3d6, which will give us 9. Oh, wait, so 7 plus 3, 10. 42 becomes 52. That's still quite low. 46? There's 14 more? Yeah, let's go 46. Sod it, why not? Brings us up to 35. 35 plus 21 is 56. Am I? Not all of them? I'm going to make Navigator stronger. It needs more. It needs more. Choose like some high level creatures have it? Yeah. Ivara plus Banshee, only way to detect Ivara will be by smell or blind sight. Yeah. Yeah, and if you get your blind sight from magic, good luck with that, because Banshee would shut it down. Yeah. Warframe and D&D, the crossover I somehow never thought about, desperately needed. It's been an ongoing project, absolutely. It's still got a long way to go, but it's wonderful. Right. Yeah, the damage needs to go up. So, Navigator... If I increase the climb damage, that can scale monstrously. Because rather than 4, 9, 13, and 18, yeah. If I doubled that, it would become 9, 18, 27, 36, which feels like a lot of added damage. Whereas if I just do +1 on this, I would just be adding 4.5, 9, 18 damage overall, which really isn't that much. Yeah, it's only an average like 6 per round equivalent, so... $2d8 it? Yeah, let's go 2d8 on it, actually. 68 brings this up to 27. So the climb is still going to be 1d8. Plus 9 to hit is correct, yeah. This means if we get 4 hits, that'd be 27, plus 36, plus 45, plus 54, for a total of 162 damage. That's... Again, it's split up. We got, like, I said it was about, what was it, 57 from the basic attacks as well? Assuming we're not using any of the spells. Plus 57, twice over, divided by 3, comes out to 92. No, that's too much. That's too much. I've overcooked that one. Let's bring that down. 5d8 is actually okay in the end, it turns out. Yeah. Because then we have 23 plus... Wait. Oh, I'm an idiot. I counted it up wrong. I added plus 9, not plus 4.5. I'm an idiot. 27 plus 31 plus 36 plus 40. That's only 134. Which brings us to an 83 per round average. Which is still too much. Yeah, let's bring it down. Let's bring it down. Because now instead it's going to be 23 plus 27. No, it's not 28. No, 27. It shouldn't be 27. What am I doing? $4.5 times 5 is 22.5. I should have rounded this down. Oh my goodness gracious. That's what's throwing me off. Sorry, chat. Right. 22 plus 27 plus 31 plus 36. Comes to 116 per round. Per navigator if it all goes according to plan. Plus the 57 twice over. Divide that by 3. Comes out to 76 damage per round. Average if everything lands. That comes out to challenge 15. Boom! That's on the money for the numbers. Right. That is acceptable. And I know there is a basic attack of a dagger in there as well, but the chance you can do both navigator and the dagger are low. Idle saying, by the way, someone mentioned earlier about overguard changes. Just so I clarify, basic overguard was using objective rules for support abilities. Damage reduction was capped at 50%. Blood altar didn't heal through it. Burst heals like Trinity's Blessing were capped to 500 over 5 seconds. That kind of thing. Oh, okay. Okay. Fair enough. And yeah, Tremor Sense is definitely still a thing. Did I give Atlas Tremor Sense? Atlas Prime? Or did it be? Atlas Prime. Yeah, I gave Atlas Prime Tremor Sense. It definitely still exists, Jason. And Atlas here got that. Absolutely. Back down to Ivara. Okay. Let's sanity check all this now. That health there has been calculated. Jason did it for us. So it'd be 15 lots of 9 is 135 plus 1695. Yep, that works. Thank you. Wisdom and Charisma saves. We've got skills 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Yep, that's correct. We've got the passive perception matches in. That is correct. Challenge is correct. Bullet jump was done. Sneak attack I've upgraded. Quiver has had no upgrade, but the DC 17 is correct. Navigator has had the damage slightly upgraded, but the range doesn't need to change. Do I? Let's buff the range. Let's just give it an extra 50 feet. Because I feel like it. It's a higher level. We can get away with higher level distances. Does Inaros have Tremor Sense? No. I decided not to give Inaros Tremor Sense. Instead, Inaros has a burrow speed. Inaros can burrow through sand at full speed. Because he's sand, and it made sense to me. Instead, Inaros' most dangerous thing is not any kind of Tremor Sense or super stealth in sandy areas, but instead, if you come across Inaros alone and he starts devouring you, you're dead. If Inaros starts devouring a creature and no one comes to rescue them, they are dead. They cannot get out of it. As an action, or as part of initially casting a spell, when Inaros is within 5 feet of a cursed target, it may attempt to devour the target's soul. While devouring, both Inaros and the target can take no other actions, and Inaros gains resistance to all damage. With each action, the target must make a con save. On a failed save, it takes some amount of necrotic damage, or half as much on a successful save, so it's going to take damage over time. Inaros recovers hit points equal to half the damage inflicted. Once Inaros stops devouring the target, such as if the target dies or the spell ends, Inaros can take no other action until the start of its next turn, so it's kind of a staggering come out of the animation thing. Just gives everyone time to react. If a creature is killed by this spell, its soul is devoured. It cannot be revived except by means of a wish or godly power. If Inaros casts Devour on you, and there is no one around to stop it, you're dead. You encounter Inaros alone, Inaros wins. That is what Devour should bloody well feel like. Even the opening description, I decided, let's give this one a bit of floweriness. If you fail your charisma saving throw, on a failed save, the creature is covered in wounds and gashes, sand inexplicably pouring out of them, as they feel their soul become exposed. The creature becomes restrained, so you're not going anywhere. If the creature succeeds on the saving throw, then the spell fails. How do you counter that without counterspell? Firstly, you make the saving throw to not be effective in the first place. Very important. Secondly, it's a concentration spell. So the counter is to have someone else whack Inara so hard that it loses the spell. By the way, Inaros has a +6 to con. Inaros Prime does. So, whack hard. Whack hard. You can also move them apart, because Inaros has to be within 5 feet. Inaros is just going to move back over again and continue eating. The spell only ends when the concentration is broken or the target is dead. That's it. Or you can use Remove Curse, because it is a curse. Anyway, that's Inaros. But if he's immune to damage, he's not immune to damage, Idle Outlaw. I didn't say he was immune to damage. At no point in that entire ability did I say he was immune to damage. Inaros gains resistance to all damage. Or is read the spell. So do you have to roll higher than its constitution to break its concentration? No, Cosmo. Good guess, but no. The way it works in 5th edition, if you take damage, or if you are otherwise affected by something that should disturb your concentration, like the serious rocking of a ship in a storm, in that case then, whoever is concentrating needs to make a Constitution saving throw. The DC for that, the number they have to roll, is 10, unless they have taken a lot of damage. The way it's calculated is that any amount of damage you take in one hit, halve that damage, that's the DC you need to beat, if that would put it above 10. This is where I've been a bit of a dick with Inaros here. Because Devour, whilst he is devouring, he gains resistance to all damage. Exactly, Idle Level, yeah. He gains resistance to all damage. So if you hit him for, say, 43 damage, resistance halves that, so now it's 21, because you round down. And because he's taken 21 damage, you halve that, round down again, 10 is the DC. So 43 damage is still only enough to get to a DC 10 roll. It would have to be more than 43 to make it more difficult for Inaros. And the +6 Constitution just adds 6 to its roll? Correct, yeah. So on a 20-sided dice, Inaros Prime will always get at least 7. And it can get anywhere up to 26. What's worse is this Devour spell, this actually comes in at a depth level. This is where it starts, at challenge rating 9. Granted, he only has a +4 to con saves there, but still, that's quite the bonus. Once you get up to Inaros Prime, Scarab Swarm here adds bonuses to saving throws. Scarab Swarm adds up to +4 to saving throws, which means that with Scarab Swarm in effect, Inaros will always succeed on a DC 10 saving throw. I'm a real monster. It's a level 19 shambling demon of the sands. If you allow the sand pouring mummy to curse you and get close enough to eat your soul, you're fucked up. Something I always forget with concentration though, is it in a single hit or collectively in a turn? Single hit. Each hit can trigger a new concentration saving throw, but they don't add the damage together for the difficulty. So if you hit Inaros 4 times over for 10 damage, then that's still a DC 10 check, and a DC 10 check, and a DC 10 check, and a DC 10 check. Now, if Inaros only has a +6, that means you've actually got something of a chance of breaking it. Not a great one, but something of a chance. But it doesn't add together to take the DC higher, no. Does he receive bonus damage from radiant damage as Divine Smite because Mummy or Undead? No, because he's not undead or a mummy. He's a monstrosity. He has similar themes to a mummy, but he is not a mummy. You need a single hit 44 plus to break 11 DC. Correct, Outlaw, yeah. Correct. The flip side to that being is that such attacks exist. Rogues, paladins, and various spellcasters can absolutely achieve that and more. Certainly when you're facing a level 19 monster. Work on it. Yeah. To give you an example, there is the... I'm going to quickly Google this one. Disintegrate 5e. You can see I've even searched it at some point. Disintegrate, a 6th level transmutation spell, which means that you can cast it at level 11, because that's how it works. So 11th level player, not 19th, 11th. This deals 10d6 plus 40 force damage. 10d6 has an average of 35, so this is 75 damage on a spell. 75 damage. At higher levels, there are even higher level damaging spells. So, whilst that may seem like, oh my god, 44 damage in a single hit, how are we going to do that? By the time you're at the level where you're worrying about that, you should have answers to it. And if you don't have answers to it, why are you fighting Inaros? That's how it works. That's how it works. Exactly. The players have the tools for it. It's meant to be terrifying, but at the same time, it's a terror where you go, wait, why are we scared? We trained for this. Or if you are level 11 and you have just come across Inaros and gone, oh, he started eating the wizard. Does anyone else have a lot of damage? No? Right. Idle saying you won't have many 6th level slots and it relies on having it prepared. If you're a class that needs to prepare, of course, it's still a big threat. Yes. And if you go into a fight whereupon you don't even have the damaging means to deal with the big bad that you're dealing with, and then you go to the DM and go, no, DM, why are you throwing us a big bad boss? And we knew there was a big bad boss here and we didn't do anything about it, and now we don't have the damage to deal with the big bad boss. If you would like that to me, I was the DM, you went, oh, I don't have damage prepared for the boss. I'd just look at you go, okay, it's your turn, what do you do? You don't have damage then, cool, tell me what you do. Here's the problem, it's rather practical, solve it. Or your friend will die. Tick-tock, your turn's ticking. Handhold when it comes to levels 1 to maybe 3. Thereafter, once you've gotten into the game, once you know the swing of it, the basics of it, cool, play the game. I'm not going to play it for you. The game is called Dungeons and Dragons. You are fighting monsters. Fight. Survive. Or lose. I'm not there to win the game for you. I'm there to set the situation, bring the monsters in, bring you in, and go, right then, what are you going to do? It's your turn, not mine. It's your character, not mine. My character is an Aras, and he's going to eat your soul. How are you going to stop him? Rename the BBG of the campaign. I can run monsters perfectly well. I've been running monsters in D&D for years. Years and years. I got roped into being DM way back, and it works for me. Other people can play one character they stick with and grow with and do all kinds of brilliant things with. I get to have all the other characters. And when they lose, I get to celebrate them losing, because the players are happy. That works just fine for me. And if the players happen to come across Inaros and don't try to survive, or they come across Ivara and they don't try to perceive, then that's not my problem. That's their problem. The game is fair. Because I am fair. To be fair, I need to let you lose. Have I done everything with Ivara Master here? I think I've gone through all the details. Yeah, let's move on. Fair is fair. Absolutely, yeah. I'm one of those DMs that will absolutely never fudge the dice. I did that once when I was very early on, and I didn't like it. Because at that point, I decided I'm now in total control as to everything that happens. Player agency is gone. I've decided what will happen. No. The players have signed up for the dice to control that. Hello there, Introverted Turtles. How you doing? So yeah, I won't fudge the dice. I will set up a fair situation and it's the player's job to get through it, one way or the other. And knowing that things can go wrong, you'll find that players all of a sudden become very resourceful. I've got a floating comma that doesn't need to exist. Players spend resources when they realise that no one else is coming to save them. Whereas if players get into their heads that, oh, with the players, they're always going to win, they stop trying. Stops being interesting. They start looking at their phone. What? What's going on? Is it my turn? Okay. Who's where? Some of the worst words to hear. Devastating words to hear, those. Trusted said, I'm trying to make a 3.5 character for the first time. Just look at the sheet, it's making me want to crumple into dust. That's understandable, honestly. Yeah. I've never played 3.5e, but from what I've heard, it's not a simple system, no. So if you're struggling, that's about right. If you're making a character for a group, is your game master able to help you out, your dungeon master? Because they should know more about it and can help get you through it. If anything, help make your character that more fits the group as well. And I don't mean fits the group as in fills in the niches the group does. I mean fits the group as in this is a character that feels like it belongs, has the background to work with it. Your DM happens to be asleep and you have 0 patience. Well, fair enough then. Much like how it's if you're fighting in Aros unprepared, if you wish to create a character sheet and you're choosing to roll without the help of the proficient character, I wish you all the best on rolling high. Good luck. Good luck. Debbie Duke saying, the mark of a good DM is the ability to make your player group scream in terror. Actually, yes. Some people are like, oh yeah, anyone can make anyone scream. No. Actually, yeah, I agree. That is a mark of a good DM. Because if your players are screaming in terror, 1, they're invested. 2, they are genuinely concerned for their survival. And 3, that means they went in believing they had a chance at survival. Just a chance. So yeah, absolutely. If you can get your player group screaming in terror, for a terrifying situation, of course, you've done well. You roll decent on your stats, 16, 14, 15, 11, 11, 13. That's a decent spread, yeah. That is a decent spread. You can be quite satisfied with that. Right, Ivara Prime. I don't want to get too distracted because I am aware of time encroaching upon us here. So, Ivara Prime, stats-wise, we're going for challenge rating 19. Let's just do that now. XP is 22,000 flat. Proficiency bonus now plus 6. Armor class for 19, it would be 19, so we're going to make it 1 lower, 18. Hit points at 19, it would be 285. We're going to make it lower at 270. Jason, you know what to do. Thank you very much. The stats across the board here. My other thing says it's +1 to everything is what I want to do here, so let's do exactly that. 16 for a +3. 23 for a +6. It's a monster, I'm allowed to do that. 16 for a +3. 20 for a +5. 21 for a +5. And 10 for a 0 flat. Boom. You've had to go and roll 2 18s, 16, 2 15s per 1 stat roll. I mean, I wasn't going to comment on it before, but now you brought up that specifically, I'm not a fan of rolled stats. Every D&D group I have ever run, outside of one-shots where I tested it and decided I didn't like it, out of every D&D campaign I have run, all stats have been either the standard array or using the purchase stats, whatever, what's it called? Point buy. Where you'll have a balanced set. Because, like you say, you've had to go and roll 2 18s, a 16 and 2 15s, which is incredible. And the person sat next to them doesn't have that. I don't like that. For a one-shot, it's a bit random though, so everything's random, but for a campaign, it's a random, permanent buff or nerf or imbalance that I don't like. I just don't like. That's me personally. Typically how the group does it is that some of your stats equal to over 70, you have to keep it. Do you roll in order? So if you get 16, 14, 8, then tough, your con is 8. With this, you've been forced to keep a 4. Right. I will make another point as well. In any rolled stats thing, very often I come across something like yourself there, where the subtext to what you're saying, if you roll over 70 as a total, you have to keep it. The subtext of that is, if you roll under 70, the DM will let you roll again. the whole point of rolled stats is that you can get highs and lows, right? So not only are we saying, well, actually we're okay with there being a spread, some people get more, some people get less, but now we're also saying, well, actually, we don't like that, so let's have it where some people have more and some people have just not as much more. And now there's actually an overall buff, because on average you're going to roll higher. I will say rolled stats usually... I know what it's usually, but I'm asking about a specific case for Age Versatile because of the way they're phrasing it. Because some people do it as roll in order, some people don't. Because different groups have different setups, and it's why you always work with your DM to know what's going on. Remember, we had this conversation about an hour ago about how what your experience with your DMs that you've known, your groups you've known, isn't necessarily all of them, and possibly not even the majority of them. Because everything exists. We usually roll using Roll20, so there's a macro use roll all at once. Okay. Fair do. If you make a very good, you make a very good point. The only time I really played D&D was with a group that, put it lightly, homebrewed heavily whilst I was trying to stick to regular published D&D material. It's not fun when there's a big power gap between players. I agree. For anyone who's curious as to why a little bit of number rolling can be such a difference, like maybe it's only a difference of +2 here or there, let me break this down for you. We're going to open up the notepad. Oh yes indeed, I brought out a notepad on a predominantly text-based stream. Crazy thing. Crazy thing, I know. So, let's say you got a player attacking a level 4 monster. Very basic stuff. According to my notes, a level 4 monster will have typically 14 AC. Nice and simple. Now, if a player is also at level 4, they're going to have a +2 proficiency, and they'll probably, under normal circumstances, have a +3 in their stat. So +3 stat, +2 prof, equals +5 to hit. Okay? This gives them a hit chance of, well, they'll hit on a 9, so 8 or lower they'll miss, 40% they miss, 60% they hit. Simple enough. If they hit, a typical weapon to hit with will be, say, a D8 weapon. So it'd be D8 plus their stat of 3, which means an average hit of 7.5. So 60% of the time, they'll hit for 7.5 damage. Well, actually, it's 55% plus a 5% crit. And I'll put the crit stat here. Crit will be 2d8, so it's 9 plus 3 for the 12. Okay? So far, I'm just reading out numbers, but this is setting the ground so that you understand how it works. Now we have a super player. Okay, let's just line it over. Now we have a super player. They don't have a +3 stat. They have a +5 stat. They rolled really well, 18, and then they put on their racial bonus. They got a 20 to start. Yeah! Cool, all right. So +5 stat and +2 proficiency equals a +7 to hit. Yeah, it's +2. We knew it was going to be +2. Well, who's caring? So the hit chance of 70%. Well, yeah, it's 2 extra numbers that can hit. Okay, not that big of a deal. And then we come out to the D8 weapon. So that's now a D8 plus 5, which equals 9.5 damage, or on a crit, 14. Okay, so there's a bit more damage, there's a bit more hit chance. I mean, it's not that big of a deal over, really. So, let's compare. Normal person. The expected values. 55% chance of landing 7.5 damage. And a 5% chance of landing 12 damage comes out to 8.65 damage per round. Or damage per attack, I should say. Super person. They have a 65% chance of landing the 9.5 damage, and a 5% chance of landing the 14 damage for 10.85 DPA. In fact, I didn't even need the extra space to line it up. That is a 25% buff. This is the difference it makes. Just a +2 somewhere. All they need to do is roll an 18 rather than be forced to start with a 14. Just get themselves to that +5 rather than +3. Just that little bit. Oh, move. So my head's not in the way? Yeah, my head does often get in the way, doesn't it? That's all good now, yeah. 25% buff. And that's just at the very basics there. So this person, the super player, which is that little +2, they're missing, rather than 40% of the time, they're only missing 30% of the time. 25% of their misses have vanished. Their damage has gone up significantly. This is the equivalent of changing the D8 to a D12. That's a significant increase in damage. So if you come across people like, oh, it's not that big of a difference. Yeah, you're still rolling the same stuff. You can still roll a crit. You can still roll X, Y, Z amount. It's like, yes, but you roll it more. Super player. You roll it more. You'll take whatever bonus you can get if the DM allows it. Oh yeah, if the DM allows it, the DM allows it. You as a player, you'll want to take every bonus you can get. It's only logical that you'd want that. Unless you're thinking about the entire table and everyone else's interests, when you look at your own sheet only, when you have the option between buff and not buff, what would be the reason for choosing not buff? Bigger number, better, yeah? But this is where it turns out those little changes actually make one hell of a change. Just a simple +2 to one stat. Not even the whole array, just one single stat having 2 points higher takes a person from an expected output against a expected monster AC to something 25% higher. Food for thought. Mathematics is a very simple and yet very complicated topic all at once. Little changes add up a lot. And it's why homebrew is so hilariously imbalanced, because not only do people forget about the little changes, they then start inventing big changes. They go, oh, it's just a lightsaber. Yeah. Right, so I'm cursed in D&D. My first non-combat roll is always 15+. I roll extremely poorly in combat. Yeah. Everyone has their own individual luck, I suppose. But yeah. I am against rolled stats in my campaigns. Purely because it has such a significant difference. Over the course of 1 or 2 rolls here or there, over the course of even a one-shot, there's going to be that impact, but it's not that big of a deal. But over the course of a campaign, when the rolls start adding up and adding up and adding up and adding up, someone's succeeding, someone isn't. And it's a lot harder to blame the dice when one person literally has better stats than the other. That can and has generated resentment. So I'm saying, honestly, if I wanted a low stat, I'd use point buy and ask to make my 8 to 3 or something. Yeah, that's fine. I'll be honest, 3 is a ridiculously low stat. Like, do you realize just how low a 3 is? Do you realize just how low a 3 is? A wolf. A wolf has an intelligence of 3. A wolf cannot speak. It has some howls that it can do, animalistic cries, but beyond following a few basic instructions, beyond learning, that grunt mean go there, a 3 is ridiculously low. Inability to learn any proper language. The inability to use tools to any real extent whatsoever. The inability to really analyze and understand what they're perceiving. Yeah, 8 isn't that bad, absolutely. but 3 is terribly low. 8 is still below average, significantly below average. As in, it has a -1 because it is significant. Imagine for charisma mostly? Well, look at charisma. The wolf has a charisma of 6. This is affecting the wolf's ability to impress its wants and desires onto other creatures. And it still has a 6. Despite being unable to communicate through words, it's still able to impress its wants and needs on someone that much better than a 3 can. So yeah, if you want to go for low stats, yeah, go for low stats, but understand the scale of how low you're taking it. You think of how dexterous a wolf is compared to your average human. You think of just how agile and nimble a wolf can be compared to your average human. And that only gives them 5 points above average, because 10 is flat average. So if you go 5 points below, then the average human, average, not athlete, average human, will be as much more agile than this 5 dex person, as a wolf is more agile than the average person. So to go to a 3 in such a stat would be absolutely insane. 3 basically in any particular stat is you are non-functional as a human. 3 strength, you are so weak you can barely carry yourself. Literally, you feel the weight of your clothes on you. 3 dexterity, you cannot manipulate your hands in any which way whatsoever. Just holding things is going to be problematic for you. 3 constitution, you are bedridden with illnesses. Everything gets you. 3 intelligence, you're a pet. You have the intelligence of a pet. And I don't mean a parakeet. I don't mean a raven. I don't mean a pig even. It's Esprit. 3 charisma, you're Esprit. No, that's harsh. I mean, look, you just made me laugh. 3 charisma, you simply fail to impress onto basically anyone your wants and needs. 3 charisma, misanthrope? Worse than that. Charisma is your ability to impress your desires over someone else's. So, if you have a terrible charisma, you cannot, without serious difficulty, impart your beliefs, your needs, your desires over someone else. You can't convince people of things, you can't intimidate people, you can't persuade people, you can't even entertain people. With a complete lack of charisma, you are struggling. Yeah, charisma is the strength of your personality. The ability for you to alter someone else's mind. Not mind control, just alter their mind. Get someone to change how they think about something. And then the wisdom is your perceptiveness. It is your awareness of the world. Someone with 3 wisdom. You're not blind outright, although that may be one of the traits you have, actually. But your ability to take in the world is just so muted. So utterly, truly muted. You think about walking down the street and how you can miss certain details, or you may be a very perceptive person. You notice, oh, there are people working the windows. You may notice a change of shop here or there. You catch a sound of a cat running down the alleyway. All those bits and pieces. Someone with 3 wisdom can be walking down a road, and you could ask them at the end of it any detail about that road. But it's a road. It's I mean, there's buildings, yeah. With the shops, of course, yeah. We're on the road with the shops, so yeah, those shops. Okay, cool. What was the shop you just passed? I mean, I wasn't paying attention. Okay, did you see the monkey in the suit? There's a monkey. Wisdom at 3, you don't see it. Brother Oni is saying wisdom 3 you fall for every Nigerian print scan? No. That is not wisdom. That is intelligence. Intelligence is the ability to analyze what you have seen, analyze what you have heard. Wisdom is taking in the information, whether you want to or not. Intelligence is making sense of that information. With a high wisdom, you'll pick up on all the bits and pieces in the email you're going through there. Oh, they made a spelling mistake there. Oh yeah, that's wrong. That's wrong. You'd notice if they actually put a double space in. Oh yeah, I can see the double space, yeah. You can see all these things. And then with the lack of intelligence, you go, yeah, so they made some spelling mistakes. Oh, it happens. Anyway, where's my bank account details? Insight is wisdom? Yeah, insight isn't telling that they are telling the truth. It's observing the tells that suggest they may not be. It's an observational trait. Disagree is sub 7 inch, you can't read. Just because you can't read doesn't mean you haven't got the observational skills. Yeah, you can't read, but you'll be able to notice things. So if someone couldn't read, but still had really high wisdom, they may not be able to tell the words on the page in front of them. They'd still notice, oh, there's a double space there. Don't know what words it's between, don't know if it's important. I can't analyse that, I don't have the intelligence, but I can see there's a double space. Wisdom is the observation. Intelligence is the processing. And that's why wisdom, if anything, is a terrible word for it. It's awareness, it's observation. Every detail given about wisdom in the books is observation and awareness, not the literal use of the word wisdom to be wise. It's a misnomer. It throws people off every time. If you don't read the books and think wisdom means wisdom, you fail your int check for not analysing the truth behind it. Intelligence is knowing that tomato is fruit. Wisdom is knowing it doesn't belong in fruit salad. Nope, wrong. And that's, again, using the classic meaning of wisdom, the English language use of wisdom, rather than the Dungeons & Dragons use of wisdom. Wisdom is noticing your tomato looks a little bit oddly coloured. Intelligence is knowing what that colour means. Come on. Do I have to get out the book? Do I have to get... I mean, I've already got it out, so let me just flick through here. Where is it going to be? I should probably have just checked the index. I seem to be selling you on perception. Nope. Perception is a part of awareness. Ability scores and modifiers. 173. Here we go. Okay. Intelligence. Intelligence measures mental acuity, accuracy of recall, and the ability to reason. Whereas wisdom reflects how attuned you are to the world around you and represents perceptiveness and intuition. So intelligence. An intelligence check comes into play when you need to draw on logic, education, memory, or deductive reasoning. Whereas wisdom, it says, a wisdom check might reflect an effort to read body language, understand someone's feelings, notice things about the environment, or, for some reason they put in, cared for an injured person. Which really stands out there, because why the fuck is care for an injured person wisdom? It doesn't match the entire rest of what they put in. The DM might call for a wisdom check to try to accomplish tasks like the following. Get a gut feeling about what course of action to follow. So no reasoning, just pure observation and feeling for it. And discern whether a seemingly dead or living creature is undead. Observation of its movements, or lack thereof. Whereas intelligence includes other intelligence checks: communicate with a creature without using words, estimate the value of a precious item, pull together a disguise to pass as a city guard, forge a document, recall a law, or win a game of skill. Wisdom has the skills of animal handling. When there is any question as to whether you can calm down a domesticated animal, keep a mount from getting spooked, or intuit an animal's intentions, then you might be called for animal handling. Insight, determine whether the creature decides whether you can determine the true intentions of a creature, such as when searching out a lie or predicting someone's next move. Doing so involves gleaning clues from body language, speech habits, and changes in mannerism, all observational. Idle saying, to the analogy you gave earlier doesn't work. A high whiz, low int would notice the monkey in the soup but not remember it, whereas high int, low whiz remember the streets they walk down but not see the monkey at all. So the analogy I was giving was a low whiz. Nothing about high int, it was low whiz, not observing things. You can't recall them if you didn't observe them. There's no high int requirement to that whatsoever. If you don't see it, you can't remember it. That was the point that I was making. You've invented the comparison there to a high-int low whiz or low-int high whiz. You added that in. By deciding I was talking about low whiz, I had to be talking about high-int, as if the two are the only scenarios that can exist. That's not what I said. I was talking about specifically wisdom. And again, it comes down to intelligence to analyze and understand. Just saying. Wisdom hears words. Intelligence puts them together and understands what they mean. Just saying. Pokemon, a question. Mind if I could get some feedback from you in chat on something I'm working on this year? That is exceedingly vague. And it's the second time you've asked that, I notice in the chat here. That's very vague. The stream's always busy. What's it you're wanting to know about? As we said, I don't know. I don't think I agree what you're saying. What the book says sounds the same. Okay, that's pretty fair enough. If I can't convince you, I failed my charisma check with you. That's fair enough. Others, however, like Brother Oni, do see my point. You're working on a compendium for one subclass for each class and just finished another concept. I am not in the business of reviewing other people's homebrews, Pokenaina. Absolutely not, sorry. I've taken a few tangents here for like 20 minutes. But yeah, we definitely don't have the time to go over someone else's homebrew, sorry. I need to put together Ivara. Luckily, Artemis mode should not be that complicated to do. So, stats. Have I done those stats? Yes, I have. Good. Saving throws. I don't think I want to add the dexterity save. Yeah, let's go full mental stats. Intelligence, which will be a +11. Whiz, oops, put the comma. Whiz is a +11. Oh, Jason did the hit points, thank you, yes. 36d8 plus 108, you said. Perfect, thank you. And charisma is a +6. Yeah, I'm going to give it the double options, absolutely. I'm going to give it the double options, because it's more interesting, and the players have more to fight. Sneak attack will come back to details on that. Lethargy is going to be DC 19. Yep, that's correct. If this is a monster, it should probably include 2 main saves and 2 uncommon saves. But that's not how I've been building them so far, Pokenaina. I've been giving all primes 3 saving throws total. Pokenaina, how long have you actually been here? Let me see. When did you send your first message today? You have been here... since after I stopped doing the design of the warframes themselves. Alright. Yeah, so you are new to my whole project here. This project has been ongoing for a very long time. I've done a lot of monsters, trust me. I've got a process. If that process isn't working, this entire document is bunk. So, working on the assumption that is not the case, trust the process. It gets 3 saves. Welcome in. Yeah, saving throws are as such skills. I'm not going to give it another skill. Instead, for Ivara, I'm going to choose one of these to give expertise to. So do we go perception, stealth, or survival? Which one do I make Ivara an expert at? That's good, Ray. Gorilla's saying stealth. Perception or stealth, yeah. Perception, probably due to alert. Could argue stealth or perception. Stealth. Let's poll this. I'm going to force you guys to decide. That way I don't have to. Thanks for the ad. Wait, what? Oh, right. Yeah, that you refreshed idle. Right. I was going to say, how is there a mid-roll? But yeah, if you refresh, Twitch does that. Thanks, Twitch. Question. Which expertise? We got perception, stealth, survival, or none. You might suggest none. I think it deserves one, rather than a final 5th skill. Give it that little bit more oomph-age. I want you guys to decide, do we go perception, stealth, survival, or none of them for expertise there? Whilst you guys have a think about that, I'm going to start filling out all these other details that need filling out. For example, this needs to be increased. Yeah, this needs to be increased to 12. This needs to be a 32. Actually, no, it doesn't. No, it's prime. 3 times the distance. This is actually an 18. And this is a 48. Which near enough lines up with the 45 speed. It's fine. And we all can agree that survival doesn't make sense. Fair enough. Sorry about the idle. I mean, idle, there is a way around this. I've not done a sellout whole stream, so I'm going to say it right now. There is a way around having adverts when you come to the stream or refresh the stream. And the way around that is to subscribe. So you can use a tier 1 sub. You can use your Twitch Prime to subscribe. Or you can even smile very nicely at someone generous and hope they choose you. You're poor? Fair enough, Idol. Fair enough. Is it because we were inside? No! No, not gonna do that. Not gonna... Adam Malik, thank you very much. You're a legend. Thank you very much for gifting a sub over to Idol Outlaw. You see, Idol, I said there were 3 ways. You just had to smile nicely at Adam Malik, it seems. And they, so impressed by your charisma, have decided to gift you a subscription. Oh, and apparently Esprit was also on the way to doing it. Now you feel like a bum? It seems to me that you are respected enough by Adam Malik here to receive one. People don't just hand out gifts to individuals all that often. If there's a gift gifted out to a channel, it's usually a community sub and they just let Twitch handle it. Adam Malik specifically chose to give you that idol. That doesn't make you a bum. That makes you cherished. That's a very different reaction. Today, Adam Malik has cherished you. And Esprit and Shinigyo were also ready to do the same thing. My word, you really did have a lot of people on your side there, Idol. Nat 20 charisma. Alright, stats. Navigator needs to be a plus 11 to hit. Still doesn't feel like a lot, but it's fine. Damage I'll have a look at. Damage I don't even need to touch, probably. You're reckless with your wallets? Valid. Absolutely valid, Esprit. I mean, you are here with a full pot with a star on it. And Shinigyo here with a full pot with a gold star. 3 gold stars for that matter. Ray also there. Alright, yeah. Artemis Bow. Artemis Bow. Spell 1 bonus action. Also, as a thought, do I want to make Prowl a bonus action, perhaps? No, we'll leave that. Esprit saying, I have gold stars if not off that hiatus. Esprit? I don't understand. The gold star means tier 3 sub. And your silver star means tier 2 sub. Yeah, if you continue a subscription, then it goes through the higher tiers of the pot. It'll become a bronze pot, silver pot. Like if I send a message right now, hi, you can see I've got the bronze pot. And I am apparently 3 months away from the silver pot. Go figure. Yeah. The star appears as a modifier to whatever your badge is to show that you're on a higher tier subscription. It's a thing. Hi guys, yeah, hi, hello. Artemis Bow, 1 bonus action. 1 minute. Limited thing, yeah. Ken doing his mandatory chat engagement. They changed that, Ray. They actually changed the wording on that. Good callback. They actually changed the wording to remove pretty much that entire section that I said was stupid. So clearly I'm not alone in saying that entire section was stupid. That whole mandated thing was removed from the terms and conditions. On top of that, they also didn't actually notify me of it. I found out through a reporter on Content Creator News. Twitch never actually informed me as to a change in the terms and conditions. So that's a thing. And chat engagement? Yes, previously, with the update Twitch did to the TOS and monetized streaming agreements, one of the things was requiring the production of quality live content. Not sure how they were going to measure quality, to be honest. Like, there are some streams out there, you know. They required engagement with the chat. Oh, no, sorry, engagement in the chat. Frequent engagement in the chat. And the specification of the word in is an interesting choice. All kinds of backwards, stupid stuff, yeah. They've removed it. Totally fair enough, and had a thing to do. Change the TNCs about notifying creators. Yeah, I guess they decided because that change was more positive for creators, they don't need to say it. Look, Twitch does a lot of things terrible, which is why the bot frequently on the channel here is saying, where is it? Where is it? When did the bot list? Has the bot stopped sending messages, or have you guys said a lot? Oh, there it is. Support the stream directly with exclamation mark tip and have your TTS moment. Earn your spot on the leaderboard below the stream. Which, by the way, is also a new thing. There is now a tip leaderboard below the stream because there was one for the bits, there was one for the gifted subs. Didn't have one for tips, so now we do. That's a thing. Oh, and now the bot posts it. Okay, we're just out of the time window. Threw me off. As well as Cosmo with the command there. They are. Brother only saying, if they don't inform you of a change in the terms and conditions of your contract, does that make it null and void or give you scope for remediation or remuneration? Depends on any penalty clauses. It basically means that it is optionally unenforceable to an extent that could be challenged within the court of law. You have to remember that first, everything is legal until challenged in a court. Everything is legal until challenged. That doesn't mean you should do everything. Please don't. But the legality only applies when you invoke the legal system. It's not like God himself is going to reach down from the heavens and grab you out of the country because you did something wrong. Yeah. Ray is Patreon, but thank you for the attempt. There you go. You got it. Can't see the tip leaderboards on mobile. Is that a technical limit or an accident? If you can't see the... It's below the stream, there's the panels. If you can't see the panels, then... yeah. As we say, I'm going to commit tax fraud legally now, thanks. Nope. You're going to commit tax fraud. And then, if it gets challenged in court, they'll decide if it's legal or not. Which they'll probably decide it's illegal. You can see gifts, bits, not tips. Sorry, Idle, when you say you can see gifts and bits, what can you see? Because on Twitch itself, it has the monthly leaderboard showing Coffee Knight, Adam Alec, and Mr. Spook Skeleton. It doesn't have the panel which shows historically all the gifted subs. Because I have a panel which shows a full leaderboard. It shows how long people have been subbed the most, the gifted subs people have handed out in all time, bits from all time. Twitch's bit at the top of the chat, or maybe bottom for you, is just this month. Just to make it even more confusing, Twitch has these things which I can't get rid of, they just exist. Yeah, so you can just see the monthly. So mobile is hiding the panels, despite the fact that Twitch has an entire section about panels. But if you're on desktop, you can scroll down and see it. Twitch. I'm getting so distracted here. Ivara conjures an arcane bow with unlimited unique arrows to fire. You're in 4th place on the overall sub. I mean, technically you'll never catch up on that. I know that Hobbit is intending to keep 1st place forever. I was saying left arrow opens the panel, right arrow cycles them with no indication as to which without clicking them. Oh. Great. That's weird. Oh yeah. Ivara conjures an arcane bow with unlimited unique with an unlimited supply. That's better. Unlimited supply of unique arrows to fire. Because otherwise I'm saying unlimited unique types, which would be wrong. What's scary, the fact that dashwire can be set up as a tripwire? A DM could allow that to happen, yeah. It's not a design of it, but yeah, absolutely. Go for it. And that's not necessarily scary, because Ivara still needs to set it up and make it work as a trap, but it can still trip someone over, yeah. Esprit saying, if I record myself tipping Ken and post it on YouTube, can that be a tax write-off? If you are in the business of posting on YouTube, yes. Actually, yes. If you spend money as part of your business, it can be written off against the cost of the business. So, those creators that do, I tipped these streams $100 each, and look at their reactions, they can literally write that off against the cost of running the business. Because if they were not doing that video, they would not have spent that money. So yes, it is actually tax deductible. Can you donate money to yourself as a tax write-off? No, because 1, I'm not a charity, so you can't donate to me, you tip me. 2, if I were to tip myself, I couldn't write it off as a tax write-off, even if it was for a video, because I'm also still making the income from the tip. So even if I expense out the cost of the tip, I then have to acknowledge the income of the tip. Which just balances it out. So technically you could try and do that, but you actually achieve nothing other than costing yourself the fees of making a transaction. Believe it or not, for the little guy, there aren't loopholes. There are options and extensions and considerations, but not loopholes. You can't do that. You have to be rich to get loopholes, and that loophole is get a good enough lawyer that nothing ever happens to you. Basically. Oh dear. Wait, if dashwire can only be used by Ivara and allies, shouldn't that mean it can't actually be used as tripwire? Did I say it can only be used by allies? Magical wire connects between the points landed. For the duration, Ivara and its allies may run along the dash wire with ease. The dash wire is invisible to creatures? Oh, I didn't have plural all this time. God damn it. I thought you guys were watching for that. There we are. Yeah, just because it's invisible doesn't mean they can't use it. They just don't get the benefits of can you use it with ease. Cosmo say, I'll watch your house and give you the money personally so it can't be taxed. I'll still declare it. Cosmo, if you somehow found out where I lived, came to my house, and decided you were giving me a tip as the engineer, I would still declare that. And that might sound naive, that might sound ridiculous, but I do believe in fair taxation. Now we're getting political, so I'm going to stop there. But yes. I'd look. No, whoop. What have you? Why has Twitch changed the settings? Why is Twitch? How has Twitch broken my settings? It was working the last time I. Why has Twitch broken my settings? One moment, guys. Sorry about this. Oh, for crying out loud. Now I need to refresh the page. That didn't even work? Sorry, guys. One moment. Twitch settings are being stupid. There it is. Right, cool. Now I've got my icons back. I can finally delete that message from Idle Outlaw. They definitely did not post my address. There we are. That was the worst implementation of that joke I've ever done. But at the very least, now I've fixed those settings. I don't know when Twitch turned off the icons to delete messages. So, Idle, thank you. You actually probably just helped save the stream in the future from something. I don't know why Twitch did that, but it did. Idle, I appreciate you. Even though you didn't even intend it. Ivara conjures an arcane bow with unlimited supply of unique arrows to fire. How about I define what these unique arrows are? As an action, Ivara may choose one of the options below. Arrow Storm. I'm going to put this in bold. Arrow Storm. Ivara makes a ranged weapon attack against every creature it can see within a... Do I go for 6? Yeah, 6 within a 600-foot cone. And I'm not going to have the disadvantage due to long range, so I'm giving it effectively sharpshooter on the spell. So we got 600-foot cone, out of that way. Arrow attack on all of them. Ivara makes a ranged weapon attack against every creature it can see within a 600-foot cone. This is going to be using the dexterity stats, so that'll be plus 12 to hit. Yeah. To any number of creatures it could see within, yeah. Against any number of creatures it could see within a 600-foot cone, yeah. Any number of creatures of its choice. That'll do. Any number of creatures of its choice it can see within a 600-foot cone, plus 12 to hit. And creature... each creature... on hit, a creature takes damage. We'll figure out how much damage in a moment. Yeah. And then we new line this. And I'm going to new line it in the code as well, just so it's easier to read. Actually, do I need to do that? Yeah, I do need to do that. There we are. So then we've got concentrated arrow. It says XX damage. Well, I'm going to put it out. Oh, that was a joke. Okay, I should have read the whole comment before responding to it. I know we got a rule against no bad jokes. I know you helped out earlier, but you know what? Warning. Also, all caps. 2 warnings. You're on your final warning now. Ivara can mow down entire legions of that, in theory? Yep. Absolutely. She is devastating. Concentrated arrow. Ivara makes a ranged spell attack against a creature within 150 feet. And that's going to be only a plus 11 to hit. Oh, no. No, let's not do that. Ivara fires an explosive arrow at a point within 150 feet. On impact, the arrow explodes. Forcing all creatures within 30 feet make a dexterity saving throw. DC on that would be 19. Yes. Jason has decided it will be 40d6 damage. No. I will say, you specifically asked for tone indicators in the previous stream, didn't you? Ignored it. What more do you want from your cruel overlord? I want you to subscribe for yourself, Idle Outlaw, rather than having someone do it for... No, that's rude. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Cosmic saying, since I've never been timed out for making jokes, does that mean they're all good? You're all good, yeah, it's fine. Gets getting greedy? I'm not greedy! There's been... let's have a look here. This entire stream, there have been 2 subscriptions, okay? Now, if I wanted to be greedy, you'd think I'd be moaning a little bit more than that. Because 2 subscriptions, assuming you are from the most expensive region in the world, which includes the UK, means I get around about $3.50. Yeah, actually. So I'm currently on £1 an hour. If you think I'm being greedy at that, you're doing one. UK is one of the most expensive places to purchase a subscription. Yeah, absolutely. Check my math. Okay. $1.50 an hour. Esprit, thank you very much for gifting your 50th sub over to Chewblocker. Chewblocker, make sure you thank Esprit for that. Assuming you're around. Esprit, cheers for that indeed. Appreciate you. 50% raise? I know. How many people get a 50% raise when they ask for one? Living life. I should probably continue making Ivara. Maybe then I'll earn your guys' respect. Ivara fires explosive arrow, force all creatures within 30 feet to make a dexterity saving throw. Each creature on a failed save Each creature takes some amount of damage and is knocked prone. On a successful save, they take half damage only. Which has been my wording for none of the other effects apply. Just need to figure out the damage in a moment. Outlaw saying, you have my respect already, but even I don't have my money, so that's where the problem arises. No, that's absolutely valid. As much as I joke around, I do want to be very, very clear. I only want people to tip the stream, give the stream subs, to use bits, or even support through YouTube membership, Patreon, whatever else, only if you have the means, desire, and security to do so. If you do not have the funds to do so, if you would be in some way causing issue for yourself through that, no, not worth it. Look after yourself first, me second. Yourself and those close to you first, me second. I don't come after you. I don't come ahead of your children or anything like that. But you know what I mean. I'm just some guy on the internet who teaches you about Warframe and also does some interesting stuff with other games here or there. That comes last after everything else. I know my place. No stress. Freezing Worm, thank you very much for the hydrate. Alright then, Jason, put your money where your mouth is. You're going to make the joke. It's either a bad joke or you ain't joking. Come on then. Right. So, we got the placeholders for everything. I need to figure out the damage here. So, let's see. What damage does Ivara already have? I'm going to upgrade this to 3 attacks. What we got here, I'm going to upgrade straight away. As we said, tonight's top story. Weird online enjoyer gone bankrupt after donating entire life savings to streamer who has explosion twice in one sentence. I don't see explosion in the sentence twice. Nope. I see Ivara fires an explosive arrow at a point within 150 feet. Full stop. On impact, the arrow explodes, forcing all creatures within 30 feet to make a dexterity saving throw. Full stop. Esprit, you said you were offering to review errors in this document before. I'm starting to wonder if I should just not even consider that in the slightest. Unless there's another explosion I've missed. Yeah, so, damage calculation. 3 attacks with the dagger. The dagger is +6 damage. It is a hit chance of +12. The bow is also a +12. And it's a +6. There we go. The damage on this then would be 8. Damage on this would be 10. Yeah. You can't see previews on mobile? Well, that sounds like your problem. No, that's valid, Idol. That's valid. Esprit didn't specifically refer to me. You're very correct. Tonight's top story is about someone else. Not everything's about me. Very true. Very, very true. Right. 8 4 times over now would be 32. And then we got the sneak attack, currently calculated at 35. We may have raised a lot of that. 32 and 35 is a total of 67. Ivara at this tier should be having a damage output per round of 100. 67 is very low, therefore. But Artemis Bow could be valid the entire time. So let's just make Artemis Bow the entire thing. Artemis Bow, we're aiming for 100 per turn then. Let's do that. So 100 per turn. Arrow Storm. Usually the mechanics assume you'll hit 2 characters. I'm going to assume here we hit 3. So I'm going to aim for a 33 damage. Which we can achieve with 60-10. Well, that was easy. Concentrated arrow, on the other hand, we can assume only hits 2 characters, so we want to go for 50 damage each. Roughly. Now, how do we get 50? That'd be 90-10, would it? 80-10 would be 44. 90-10 would be 49. Let's do that. 49 seems lower than 50. It's obviously 1 point lower than 50, but it'll make him go, oh, it's only 40-ish. It'll be fine. No, it's 50. It's near enough 50. 90-10. Thunder damage. And it's not brown. Yeah. And this, because it is ranged weapon attacks, can also trigger sneak attack if Ivara is valid for it. We can get the extra 35 in there. Which might swing that too far? Yeah, let's actually bring this down. Let's bring this down to 5d10. Which would make that 22, 27. Just a little bit lower. Alright. Night Chat Tangents brought to you by ADHD. Not diagnosed now. Watch the stream on a smart fridge. What? I just know. Kids are going to check security distracted and Bezos isn't seeing the mandatory interaction. Pay cut. 50% buy rise. God's sake. God's sake. Jason, with it being a ranged weapon attack, that allows the monk to catch and return an arrow in Arrow Storm, in theory only. Yes, yes it does actually, Jason. You're correct. The monk can absolutely try to catch and return the arrow. That said, the amount of damage incoming on that, I don't know if the monk would be able to return it. 1d10 plus dex plus monk level. Oh no, never mind, they're returning it. They're returning that. Yeah. Lucky then. Seeing as it's a ranged weapon attack, I can have the plus from the stat, but that just undoes the reduction of the damage I just did. So I'm just going to make it 5d10. It's fine. It's fine. So, assuming it hits 3 characters, we got 3 lots of 27, which comes out to 81, plus the 35 from sneak attack, assuming you land that, brings you up to 116. Whereas this one here, if it hits 2 characters, you get 49 doubled to 98, but then you've also got the fact that I take half damage on a save, which bumps up the average slightly overall. I think that balances it. Yeah. Oh, is in action again? Good job, Idol. Good job. Yeah. Also, I didn't have Prowl to the spells up here. God damn it, Ken. Or change the level of the ones that I buffed. God damn it, Ken. I did buff Navigator, didn't I? Yeah, I think I did. So, 5th level. Quiver did not get buffed, so I'll leave that one where it is. Right then. Navigator, we can leave at 5th level. Prowl, we can leave at 6th level. And we got Artemis Bow, which is 100 damage per round for constantly? Yeah, that's 8th level. It might even be 9th level. What do you mean we haven't got to the scattered shot? Arrow Storm. Man, the whiz check's coming out today. Oh dear. Malasitos, oh wise the Kenju of the English land, bless me with your knowledge. Did you know about wisdom in D&D? No, we're not doing that again. We're not doing that again. You'll have to rewind the stream for that one. Is your score bringing the chat average down? All of you are rolling independently at the moment. There are no group checks going on, so you're fine, Idol. You shouldn't be bringing others down. However, if someone asks for your help, decline. That should be a command. That should be a command, shouldn't it? Can I make that a command right now? I'm getting distracted again, and I'm doing it. I don't care. Oh, I'm a half hour over. I will apologise to the house later because I want to make that a command right now. How do I make that a command? Chat commands, custom commands. Let me check one I made that was random before. That's how I do it. Yeah. This is gonna be a bit janky, but I can make it. It'll only be a D20, no modifiers. Oh, balls. I threw away something I needed. Alright. Nearly there. And if I end with that... Okay. This command's probably not working, but try it. There's no way I got it to work first time, so just try it. Exclamation mark D20. Oh my god, it worked first time. Why is it taking this long to put a dice roll on here? Oh my god, you guys are rolling like shit. Have we really timed out the bot? Oh, no, wait. Idle Outlaw doesn't even get a roll. When you roll so badly, the bot goes, actually, let's just forget that ever happened. Oh, the highest we got so far is a 13. Oh, God. Maybe, did I put a cooldown on the bot rolling it? I didn't think I put a cooldown on, but I might have accidentally put a cooldown on it. Let's see. Everyone can use it. Oh, there's a global cooldown. Right, let me fix that. There we are. That's what it was. There was a cooldown that you couldn't use it so quickly. Now there isn't. Oh, Cosmo, you rolled a 1. I'm going to have to time you out now. That's the rules. It isn't the rules, but I'm timing you out now. Bye. Come back in 10 seconds. You are stunned for a round. By the way, there's no reward for a 20. You only lose with this roll. Idle Outlaws rolled for their wisdom and got a 9. Well, there we are. It's about what you expected, I guess. Are you really going to roll out all your stats, Cosmo? Crikey. 16 con? Yeah, that's pretty damn good. Espri's die went off the table. Happens. Marcy says, to quote myself, me, Ken, the majority of you are apparently so unlucky it's a miracle you haven't all been struck by lightning. True. I forget which video I said that in, but true. Cosmo's rolled another 1! Oh, dear. This command definitely needed to exist. I'm glad I added this one just now. Thank you very much for the suggestion. Who was the first to say D20? Who do we credit this to? Idle. Thank you. Thank you for distracting me yet again. It was a sortie video. Makes sense, Tom. Makes sense. People do complain a lot about the sortie. So Cosmo has, what's it, 1 strength, 1 dex, 1 intelligence. But at least you've got constitution and wisdom on your side. You're a very observant rock. A very observant, though not very convincing rock. Wonderful. Wonderful, Cosmo. Well done. Cosmo just a walking lump of meat. I mean, with a dexterity 1, I don't know if they're walking. Shambling, shuffling, scrambling. Oh, you got 4 strength, not 1. My bad. Ray, yeah. Yeah, that's it, yeah. Cosmo, you are officially the Easter Island head in Night at the Museum. Hey, dum-dum, you give me gum-gum. That's you, Cosmo. It's been decided. You're an observant rock head. Moai head, that's it, yeah. Thank you, Esprit, yeah. You know that from RuneScape, I'm sure. Imagine playing Warframe and someone rolls a dodecahedron out of nowhere in chat. Yeah. It's fine. Right, I am missing bits. I knew I was missing bits. We need to add on a couple things here. We need to add on... Under senses, we need the condition immunity, because the primes get prime sure-footed. Prone and restrained immunity. And I like to give a damage resistance at this tier. If I was going to be the same. So damage resistance is poison. Because if I was got that poison frog theme going on. And rogues should be resistant to their own poison, even though she's not using poison. It makes sense. Shush. Resistance to poison. Oh my word. I'd have rolled a 20! With a D20 command, we're one step closer to Twitch chat plays D&D. We are, yeah, true. We are one step closer. So you've got 4 strength, 2 dex, 20 con, the 9 whiz from earlier. So you're more resilient, but not as observant as Cosmo. Fair enough. I'm curious to see how this comes out. You've also got 9 intelligence. Okay, so you could actually pull off a caster here. A wheelchair-bound caster. You ain't dying, your legs are broke. And a charisma of 3. Ray, that's not how it works. I bet... To let you know how scuffed this is what I did. The command D20 goes name, rolder, and then it just picks a random text result out of a string of text results. Or, no, an array of text results. And those text results are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so... Literally just an array, it says pick one of these at random. That's rolling a die! It's a really dumb command. It just does that. I did literally just write it on stream, alright chat? It's impressive that I knew enough to write that. Using the chat bot. This isn't a program or anything designed to handle dice rolls. This is a chat bot which I've co-opted into faking a D20. It is random, and it does give you 20 results, and it does say who gets it. That's it. Time to add a script to auto time out people for 10 seconds on a 1. Can I do that? I don't know enough about how to do that, so I'm gonna stop thinking about that. Ivara. We have the armor class. We have the hit points. We have the speed. I've not given Ivara dark vision all the way up to the prime. Do I want to give the prime dark vision? Yes. Yes. Dark vision out to 30 feet. Nothing far. Nothing too fancy. Just a little bit of dark vision. As a treat. You're looking so bad the bot times you out. Yeah, we're not going to do that. It's like, I don't have a redemption option in the channel points for timing out yourself or anyone else. Oh, wait, no, I'm like, I do have it the timing out itself. What am I talking about? I have timing out other people, because it would be a bit harsh, but if it's just rolling the die and sometimes it just shuts you out, yeah, that'd be a bit shit. If you want to get timed out, do the redemption. Get the points. Because at that point, if you've got enough points to time yourself out and you haven't read it yet, that's on you. D21, that'd be harsh. Roll a 1, get 2035 for half price. How are they going to pay for the... They're not going to do it. They ain't going to pay for it. That's not how it works. Intelligence, wisdom, charisma saving throws. That's fine. We got the skills. Oh, we opted to boost the... I get the poll back. You guys said perception, right? I'm going to say you said perception. I think you said perception. It was perception. All right, thank you. I couldn't remember. I don't know if Twitch even remembers it itself. It's gone. It's gone. The poll came out as Perceptoin. Ah, yes, the new cryptocurrency. Perceptoin. Where anyone who buys it is not Perceptoin enough to realize it's another scam. That's how you get them. Just put it on the front. They won't even realize. No one could be evil if they tell me they're evil, right? So, prediction of what role winner gets enough points for 2035. I can't hand out Twitch channel points. Andrew's rolled a 1. Well, you tried, Andrew. You tried. How's it going? It's going. It should have been going 49 minutes ago, but I've been distracted 27,000 times now that I'm not even sure which bit I'm not distracted from anymore. All these stats look correct, though. Bullet jump. May turn a jump into bullet jump. Jumping as if he had a run up and able to cover 3 times the distance. Yep, that's correct. Ivara cannot be surprised. Sneak attack. Yep. No damage buff on that, just left where it is. Quiver, no changes. DC 19, correct. Aha! I found an issue. Where is it here? DC 19, spell attack bonus plus 11. There we go. Okay, plus 11 to hit, just these damage. Navigator, it scales by 1d8 each time. 200 feet total distance. Prowl, you can go invisible. Artemis bow, you can just attack a whole bunch of people. Here's your special things. Yep. Arrow Storm, Concentrated Arrow. We've got the Void Powers. 1, 2, 3, 4 spells are on there. They all have their levels. We got our attacks. Is the attack bonus correct? Plus 12, plus 12, plus this, plus 6. Yep, those are all correct. And bonus action can just sit there as it is. No room for legendary actions, so she doesn't get any. Andrew has 2035 themselves twice? Okay. Bye! Have a nice day. I'm only going to charge you the one, so I'll refund you the other one. It's good. Som! How did you see all these people rolling d20s and then you put roll 1d20? It's fine. Hello, boss. How you doing? Alright. Ivara Prime is done. Ivara Prime is done. That's the roll command you're used to? Fair enough. I think we've got it. Oh. Capital D20 works as well.
Oh
That's
my
good.
god! Wait, are they here? Kengineer.
Dyson, cheers. Did I get the perception expertise? Yep, that's now plus 15, so it's showing, yeah. Man, how are you... So many of you rolling ones? What is that? Okay. I only got a 4, bloody hell. Rigged. Adam Malik gets the 12. Right, I see. Rigged. Rigged. And then Massive Legend does as well. And Esprit gets a 20. That doesn't make any sense. Esprit doesn't get a 20. That's not how this works. God, there's just so many roll attempts. I might need to rate limit that command again. Actually, no, that won't stop you guys spamming. It'll just make you upset that you can't use the command. Ah, there's no solution. What have I done? I might only enable the command on D&D streams. That might be best. Am I done? Probably should be, shouldn't I? Yeah. Ivara is made. Ivara has been made. I think this has come out quite well. And we got the quiver using the dash wire from normal mode, lethargy, which is kind of a bastardization of the conclave one. And then we got Shadow because it's the Cloak Bubble, but call it Shadow because it's fun. And all the way up into the Prime, we've got Navigator, which actually works, Prowl works, Artemis Bow works, we've got Sneak Attack, Alert, a replica of enemy radar. Yeah. We're done. See you on Sunday. Enjoy. I'm not going to just leave you like that. Thank you very much, though, for everyone who has been watching. I hope you have enjoyed yourselves. It has been wonderful putting all this together. I'm not going to just drop the stream out like that. That would be... No. Idle Outlaw? No, that's no. No. I'm not streaming for another hour. I can't do that. We're already an hour over near enough. No. But at least we're getting some good rolls all of a sudden now, people. All I needed to do was go away and come back and make a joke and everyone gets good rolls. See? I'm a bard. I entertain you and you're getting bonuses. But yeah, it's been wonderful. I'm going to be live again on Sunday between 7 and 10 UK time for some more Warframe. Actual Warframe, not D&D Warframe. In the meantime, I do hope you guys have yourself a wonderful weekend, wherever you are around the world. Hope you get some good stuff. If you're working, do your very best. Hold your sanity together. I'll be here for you at the end of it. And until then, catch you later.